Okay, you're live. You're supposed to
Hey y'all, what
start.
it do? What's up? What's up? What's up? This your boy
Start
Mighty
with a
Mac, and we
smile,
back
please.
once in effect. This your boy Mighty Mac, and this is
Your girl Cadillac.
And
Oh,
together
y'all so
we
extra.
are. That's not extra. That's how I always say it. And
Y'all.
you know this.
We are the what?
Cousins in crime.
The what?
Cousins in crime.
Here, let them hear you one more time. The
It's
what?
the cousins in crime.
All right, y'all heard it. So
Anyway.
we is back, y'all. We back with conversations with
Mac
who?
and Lack.
Not
and
Mac and
today-
Lack.
Yeah, Lack and Mac.
You know they be like, not Mac and Lack.
But
bitch.
I, on my channel earlier today started this picture of Willie D Live, and I am going to
You almost
finish
hit me
it
in my
while
eye.
we chatted up about Mac has some things he wants to talk to you guys
Yes,
about.
yes, yes,
And I
yes.
need to finish my
Hallelujah.
picture of one of my favorite YouTubers, Willie D Live. When this live is over, I will link like a couple of his videos in there. Whoo, I love this man. This man is from the Ghetto Boys, a group back in the 90s.
I don't know him, y'all.
My mama even liked the Ghetto Boys. You remember that song?
I'm too young, baby.
No, you know stuff from before your time. You remember that song?
I'm young,
I,
baby.
I got big money. I drive
Mhm.
big cars. Everybody knows me. It's like a movie star. But late at night, something ain't right.
What? Okay.
My mind is playing tricks on me. Dun, 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 dun.
Mm.
Dun, 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 dun,
Mm.
dun.
How in the world you
Mm.
need your hip hop card revoked? Like for real.
I ain't listen to rap back then.
Anyway.
I don't listen to rap now. I
But
listen to
now
rap.
it ain't all of that. But
Y'all, my face probably greasy. I was
okay,
8.
so I'm gonna finish drawing Willie D Live, and Mac is gonna introduce his topic for tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, and
so
then
before
you
we
need
get
to
into
first
it,
let us know this is the blind leading the blind. I'm the legally blind artist, and he is the blind chef. He
the
hates
blind
to
blind. I'm the
actually
blind
tell
artist.
you guys that, like, why are we
Hallelujah.
even on
Because
this
they're my
topic?
fans. These are my blind babies.
No, but
They should know I'm
why are we on that topic? You gotta let
We're
them
gonna
know.
get into it, y'all. But before we get into it, y'all make sure y'all hit that like, share, and subscribe. See, I'm blind, so I can't see what to subscribe at, but y'all can. So make sure y'all hit that button because
They be
we gonna
acting
be
like they don't
live.
see it.
Y'all
And
scared,
then when
y'all.
y'all subscribe, y'all need to watch.
Y'all be
the
acting like that
videos.
subscribe button is a horror movie or something.
Yeah,
Hit
they be
that
scared.
button. Go on and hit it. Hit it now. It'll take you 2 seconds. Jeez.
Don't even continue till they hit that like.
Y'all showing out. Y'all hit that notification bell when y'all want to get new content. Cause I don't know nothing if y'all. And let me tell y'all, when y'all get that notification, I get that notification. I don't be coming on here because y'all don't be want to see me. Y'all don't like seeing me on your chat because y'all won't subscribe.
Did y'all check out
Oh, I think
Mac
your
has-
eyelid. I mean your eye shade. Your pencil
Maybe
shade
that
done
was
got in
that
my
could have
eye.
been the eraser mark. But
Right?
Mac just released today the where we reviewed the
Oh yeah,
Breakfast
Breakfast
King.
King.
So y'all gonna have to check that out. That just came out.
Okay, y'all. So before we get into it, I do want to give a couple of shout outs. I have a friend of mine right now who's out there fighting, just fighting cancer right now, and it's kind of upsetting a little bit, So I'm gonna give them a little woman empowerment song. My voice might be a little shaky, but hey, my mom is fighting cancer as well. So we here with y'all, baby. We support y'all. Make sure y'all send y'all prayers, y'all likes, y'all shares, and just send y'all prayers. Pray for a friend. Look to y'all neighbor and pray for them child, because you never know what somebody going through. Like I'm going through a lot of stuff too, but you never know what somebody out there is going through that's worse to you. So I'm gonna give y'all a song because she's every woman and my mother is every woman. So I'm gonna give y'all just the beginning. So if my voice crack, y'all, I'm a little tired. It's hot. Well, it ain't really hot in here, but this light bulb be making me so high, y'all. We gotta get a lamp because this ghetto stuff is just not working no more. Okay. So y'all know I gotta
Anything ghetto is creative. First of
Okay.
all.
Whatever you want, whatever you need, anything you want done, I'll do it naturally. Cause you what? What are
I'm
you
not finna hit that note. I thought you wanted me to do the little TLC dance that they were doing in the video.
Cause I'm every woman. You could say every woman. It's all in me. It's all in me. And y'all know Whitney said, "Ow!" I couldn't hit that note, but y'all know Whitney killed it. But yeah, so I just want to give him a little bit of that. Because, I mean, I ain't every woman, but she is over here, clearly. But yeah, so let me get into it, y'all. So I'm going to go and get right into this video. And if y'all ain't hit subscribe yet, go and get off my channel. Just go and hit the exit button, child. Because y'all watching, y'all be making me get on here doing all this work and y'all will not subscribe. That is not cool, y'all. I hate it here.
I actually did
Y'all don't
study
like
and
me.
they say it's because of TikTok and nobody has an attention span. So if your video is longer than 14 seconds, yeah, they just, I don't know.
Well, okay, buddy.
That's where we're moving to right now.
Help me out, this nigga crazy. He be beating on me and shit. But y'all, yeah, let's get right into it. So today I'm coming at y'all with a couple of tips. I just want to give y'all a little bit of history. Before I lost my sight, I had been in management for like the past 12 years, almost. So I kind of this video is kind of just like giving y'all to everybody. I'm sorry, let me introduce this to everybody who is blind or vision impaired. I'm going to give y'all tips and tricks on how to get through the interview, how to get that job, how to secure that bag, being blind, you know, because I know we do live in a world where unfortunately people do judge us based off our disabilities, which is not supposed to be like that. But I'm gonna tell y'all a little something how to get around that, okay? And for everybody who wanna tune in, just to know, like, I'm gonna give y'all both sides of the spectrum. I'm not biased, so I'm gonna give y'all both sides of the spectrum. I've interviewed with sight and without sight, so I can give, you know, those. And trust me, every job I interviewed for, I walked out with that bitch, like, period. Whether I was blind or not. I mean, took some time being blind, and I can kind of give y'all that process of how it works, but I've always walked out with that job. So, and being a manager actually helped me learn how to interview the proper way, just because, I mean, I'm not going to go into, you know, interview mode right now, but I can give y'all, you know, what I do, things that I do. So being blind, when you interview with a company, this is my second job being blind. And right now I'm gonna give y'all a little backstory of what's going on. So y'all know, for those who know, you know, I was at a company. I left that particular company just because I didn't feel secure, not with the job, but I didn't feel secure about my disability. As far as working there, they kind of treated me a little different than the average person, and I just wasn't feeling it. So I had to get up out of there, you know what I'm saying? And so I went to another company, and they actually did it the right way. I'm kind of waiting. I've been waiting for like a month already. I'm not going to go into the company's name just yet. So right now we're going to call that company Procrastinate. So with Procrastinate, I applied at Procrastinate, and they wanted me, because I was disabled, they wanted me to do my, or not my orientation, I'm sorry, but my accommodations paper, which would go to the doctors and have the doctors fill the accommodations paper out, which it could take some time to do that. So it's not just a 1, 2, 3. And I've worked for Procrastinate before in the past a couple of times. So I know how the process works, and it's usually a fast process with the hiring, but a slower process when it comes to the orientation and the paperwork. So Procrastinate got my paperwork, and they kind of holding on to it a little bit. They said they have to find me a location just because of the accommodations. You know, they want to make sure they duck eggs. What is it? They ducks in the row is covered, whatever they call it. But they just want to make sure that a bitch ain't gonna sit. Okay. So they got to put me somewhere where I think your shavings is getting in my eye.
Oh, my bad. I had to watch where I'm.
But they want to make sure that I'm not going into a position that's going to potentially cause me harm or be a hazard situation for them. So that's what I'm going through right now. So I'm still in the process of waiting on them, y'all. So once Procrastinate come through, you know, I'll give you guys an update. I keep my blinders updated kind of like I try to do a video like once a week, let y'all know how everything's going with me, just to show face, you know what I'm saying? So right now, the first tip that I'm gonna go into is when you come in, you always want to be, whether you blind or sighted, you always want to be a little knowledgeable about the company that you work for, whether it's Burger King, whether it's the airport. You always want to have some type of knowledge about it because they're most likely going to ask you, why did you choose this company? And you always want to say something like, okay, the reputation of the company, give them good points about the company, whether it's a shitty company or not, give them good points about their company. Like you've heard the reputation of the company is good, or they got flexible schedules, or if you like Burger King, bitch, I like Whoppers. You know what I'm saying? Just if you always want to have something, a good point about a company, no matter if you blind. I said blinded. No matter if you're blind or not, you always want to have a good reference point about the company because most likely they are going to ask you, why did you choose that company? So number two, this is more for anybody can use this. So I would say this is number two is also for blinded people and sighted people. Number two is you always want to dictate the conversation. Never let a manager dictate the conversation because you want to let that manager know that you're very assertive. You want to let that manager know that you know how to be initiative. You take the initiative, you speak, you talk. A lot of companies want to know that you can talk because most likely you're probably going to work with cash, you're going to work with customers. So they don't want nobody that don't speak. Hi, welcome to can I help you with your order? They don't want that. Hi, welcome to Burger King. What can I do for you? They want that because the louder you are, the more customers is going to drive in because that shows that customer service skill. But blind people, you are the most important ones to dictate the conversation because whether a sighted person dictate that conversation or not, it's a good percent chance if the rest of the interview goes good, they're going to hire them. With a blind person, it's harder for us, and trust me when I say that because like I said, I've interviewed for more than one company being blind, and it was the same thing. You want to dictate the conversation. Go in with your disability on 10. Like, even no matter if you blind, one arm, one leg, whatever, go in with that disability with confidence because if you don't believe in yourself, they're not going to believe in you. Okay, make them ask as less questions as possible. When a manager is asking too many questions, it's because they don't believe in you yet. Okay, so that means they don't believe that you could do the job. I know people be like, well, the more questions they ask, they're interested. No. That could be potentially a good thing too. But being a manager who's hired people, if I'm asking you over 13, 14 questions, it's because you haven't sold me yet. You haven't given me that confidence that I would need to hire you just yet. Okay, if my interviews are short and sweet, I'm gonna ask you like 3 to 4 questions, and if they're short and sweet, baby, most likely you're gonna get that job because they want you to get to the point. Okay, and I know the main question is, name a time where you went above and beyond, whether it's work or school. You guys always have that question, a good answer for that question. You're going to get that question. I've interviewed with over 30, 40 freaking jobs, and they always ask that question. Name a time where you went above and beyond. Just particularly, I guess they want to see if you really about it, like for the company, so and always give them, I know they always say school or work, give a school or work answer. You always want to give them a work answer. They don't give a damn nothing about that school, okay? You always want to give them a good work answer, okay? Well, this one time at this job, never say school unless this is your first job. Never use the school one because what can you with above and beyond that school help their company? That's what you have to think about it. What did you do in school that went above and beyond that would help that company? So if you're going to use school, always use a good, don't say, oh, I held the door for the principal. That ain't gonna help. Okay. So if you're gonna use school, now if you said that for work, hey, I held the door for a customer. Maybe they had like 3 or 4, 5 bags and they couldn't open the door. I politely step away from my register or something and help them out. Then that would be a simple answer. But when it comes to school, you just don't want to say, I open the door, because what is that going to get you? Because that most likely, unless it was an amputee or something, then they couldn't open the door for themselves. But then you want to make that story as sobby as possible. You want to make it seem like you was just the shit at school. Okay, so
But you want to be careful with that because the amputee probably can open the door for themselves. You can't assume what someone can't do.
right, but no, I was just using it as an example. Like, unless that was a so in a job, they don't want to hear, okay, well,
No,
and this
I
is nothing
understand what
against
you're saying.
amputees.
You would have
They
to
want you to hear. They want you
rephrase
to.
that
Yeah, they would want you to
no,
say.
you would have to rephrase
No,
that
but what I'm
differently.
saying, that would be the right way, because if a person comes and say, okay, I opened the door, okay, that's not above
No,
and
but what
beyond.
I'm saying
So
is that could be offensive to an amputee that I'm sure can open the door for themselves.
I'm pretty
That's
sure
what
they
I'm saying.
can.
So,
But
so,
no, what I'm saying is that even if they can open the door for themselves, that's you going above and beyond to try to help someone. Like, if you just opening the door for, like,
I know what
you got arms
I
and you
know
got
what
legs and
I
you
know
got two
what you're
eyes.
trying to say,
So
but
if you open the door, I'm
but
gonna be
it's
like, okay.
almost in the same sense. Just that one statement. We're not talking about the scenario.
No, but I get
That
what you're
statement
saying,
is the
but
same sense.
I'm saying I can't do
People
it being
saying,
blind.
yeah, it's the same
But
thing.
that's right. So if I went to that job and they say, okay, name something Takeda went above and
No,
beyond and
but
did.
you're going back to the scenario. I'm just going back to how we speaking on YouTube. We don't want to offend anybody
No, and that's why I said
because
it's nothing against
because I'm sure
it's nothing against
I'm
them.
quite sure an amputee can open the door.
I'm pretty sure they can.
So
No,
that's why
that's why I already put that out and said it's nothing against. It's nothing against. I was just using it as an example. It's nothing against an amputee or someone who's not amputee. I was just using that as an example. Like, but you're right. You can't assume that that they can't open the door. But I'm not saying that. But I'm not being funny. But if I was a W amputee, I would want somebody to open the door for me. Like, even though I can do it, and like even being blind, even though I can do it, like, let's say I can identify my own medicine, I would still like won't help sometimes. Like, okay, well, can you just verify this, or can you just verify that?
Oh my bad.
Can you just verify this, or can you just verify that? So, but moving on, y'all. So that's just number two. Try to
right.
try to dictate the conversation as much as you can. Try to get them to ask the last question. Like, go in there. Whether you an amputee, a blind person, somebody with any disability, it doesn't matter. You go in, like me, I will go in and I'm like, hi, my name is, I ain't gonna give y'all my first and last name. My name is Sean Doe, and this and that. The first question they're gonna ask, you can give them up all the information, but once they start asking about your disability, you start dictating that conversation. Okay, I'm blind. Okay, I'm blind. I also went to Lighthouse, Central Florida, and they've helped me learn how to cook. I know how to cook. I know how to clean. I learned how to organize. I learned my computer skills there as well as life skills. I learned mobility and transportation. Like, I started giving them my rundown, because most likely I'm gonna answer a question that is better for you to give them that answer than for them to answer that question, because you probably just answer like 4 or 5. When you give them your rundown, you probably just answer like 4 or 5 questions that they might have would have asked you. Okay, how would you get around? I went to Lighthouse. They taught me how to get around. I also use a mobility cane. I can use human guide. I also learned how to communicate back and forth, whether it's sign language. You could say, if someone is a mute, you could say, hey, I learned sign language at this school, and they taught me how to communicate so I could still have a conversation with a guest. I've learned how to listen for certain things. Like, you put yourself out there. Don't let them ask you, because when they start asking you, they're doubting what you can do. So you already put that out there. Now, if you have put that information out there and they're still asking you questions, then they're most likely probably are interested. Because, some people, they just ask questions because they want to see. Like, I was on a 45-minute conversation the other day with somebody from the cable company because she was just interested in how I set my cable boxes up and things like that because I just remember how to do it. So she was just interested, and we went to got talking about Braille. So she was just asking me a million and one questions. But sometimes they ask questions because they don't know. Okay. Number three, and this is strictly for a disabled person or a non-sighted person. Always, 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 always have patience. Okay. Um, just because they're asking questions, sometimes they're not being rude. I know sometimes we may think those, and Cadillac did bring up a good point because she was, I'm going to get to why I didn't correct her on that second question. Sometimes people do assume that you can't do this and you can't do that. And it's not them being rude, guys. It's just the lack of knowledge, okay? It's not someone, okay, well, let me get the door for you because you are an amputee or you're blind. It's just a lack of knowledge. So don't just jump up and get so sensitive about it and then possibly talk yourself out of a job because they just asked a simple question. It's just a lack of knowledge. So that's why I say you dictate the conversation because you can educate them better than them asking a question because sometimes they don't know how to word it. They don't know how to phrase it. Like, so if what she was saying about the amputee comment, I'm not an amputee, so I wouldn't know what's sensitive to them or not. I wouldn't know how to phrase that because it's the lack of knowledge. So it's not being rude or disrespectful. It's just the lack of knowledge. So you have to be patient because right now, being blind has taught me to be a little more patient because I've been waiting on procrastinate, which is the job. I've been waiting on them since July. So, and I'm already fully hired. I'm just waiting on paperwork and my orientation. So I got to learn how to be patient because of my disability, they have to find the correct spot for me. So you just have to learn how to be patient. That's why I say dictate that conversation. So you control the conversation and you can educate them sometimes because they don't know. So just don't take it personal all the time. Now, if you do feel uncomfortable, don't be afraid to say that because, like I said, they don't know. So don't be afraid to say, hey, I don't feel comfortable with that question, or, this interview is starting to make me feel a little uncomfortable because you have to get in a point to yourself where you are fully confident in your disability. Because some people we may like, I know I can do this blind, I can do that but blind, excuse me, but I'll be a little scared going into a new situation just because. Excuse me, y'all. Just because I don't know what I'm going into. Okay. So that comment, I mean that tip was strictly for disabled people. To all my sighted people, that was strictly for disabled people. Number 4, I'm only gonna give y'all 5. Number 4, always be polite, y'all. Like, I don't care if you're sighted or disabled. Be polite. Because ain't nobody gonna hire an asshole, okay? Nobody's gonna hire someone who's going in like this. Hi, my name is John Doe. Yeah, I'm 30. Yeah. Yeah, I got experience in flipping burgers. I worked at McDonald's. Didn't you see it on the application? Be polite. Even if they ask you the dumbest questions, can you mop? Yeah, I can mop. I mean, anybody can mop. This is how you should say, hi, my name is John Doe. I'm 30 years old. If they say, do you have any experience? Yes, I have experience. I've also worked at McDonald's. As you can see on the application, I was a cashier or a burger flipper. It's the way I'm saying it the exact same way, but I'm using a different, not even just like a different tone, like a more professional tone. It's not even about being properly grammared or anything like that. I'm just using a more professional tone versus a dead tone. Like, okay, yeah. Thank you for choosing McDonald's. Like me, I always tell anybody, take a job with pride. I don't give a damn if it's McDonald's, Burger King. Bitch, it could be Donut King. What? Not Donut King. What's the name of the place? Dunkin' Donuts. Something Donut King. I was thinking about bagel. Y'all, we got a Bagel King here, so that's what I was thinking about. Both of them came out.
Donut King is the one that delivered them donuts to theme parks and stuff. Donut King.
Oh yeah, you right. But yeah, y'all, so always be polite. It doesn't matter what the job is because you apply for that job. Don't be going in there with it's just a cashier job. So, I don't have to be all you could be because you never know what that could turn. I started as a Whopper chicken maker at Burger King, and that got me all the way up to store manager. So I was actually going to train for a district manager before I quit on their ass. But Maybe I shouldn't have said their name in there, but it's too late now because we live. But I don't care because I don't plan on going back anyway. But yeah, so that job that I started years ago got me to management, higher management, and I was able to walk into multiple companies and become a manager like that, baby. Okay, I walked into jobs as a cashier, applying for a cashier, and walked out as a manager. So you know, always take what you do with pride. Be very, very, very prideful in what you do because you never know what it can turn into. Because how do you think? I know people like Burger King's a dead end job, but you got to remember Burger King got the whole fucking corporation behind it. You can move up. You don't have to stay in that Whopper making position. You don't have to stay in that management position. That how you think they do payroll? How do you think they have upper level managers? They have an HR department. So you can always do a lot of stuff what people go to school for. You can always do that. So take pride in what you do. Like, I don't care what it is. You apply for that fucking job. So carry your ass to work and do your job. Okay. And that's for everybody. I don't care if you sighted or disabled or not. Carry your ass to work and do your job. If you apply for that shit and got hired, do your fucking job, okay? And always be polite about it. Never bring your problems outside home into work because that shit just not work. It's gonna make you feel shitty all day, trust me. So the number 5 thing that you guys should
That's
do.
the part where some people really just don't get it. I know how to compartmentalize, and my day could be bad as I don't know what. I could be going through the fire just like now. But if it was time to clock in, baby, Cadillac finna be the nicest,
Yeah,
most
I will cuss a
customer
bitch
friendly.
out and clock in. Hey, thank you for choosing
Yes,
McDonald's. Like,
Just compartmentalize that BS and be there and happy because that is part of your job.
right,
Just because you're irritated and you're showing it doesn't mean the next person that you're working with is not going through something and not irritated.
right.
Like, please, like all you do is make everybody amongst you miserable. When what was the point? We're already miserable, most likely.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because
Right.
we all got our own problems. It's just you don't know how to not bring your problems into this space. You bring them to work with you, and I kind of check them at the door, pick them up when I go back home. Yes, my problems they're waiting on me, but yet I made my customers happy, like for real.
Right. And the number 5 thing, and this is for disabled. Matter of fact, this is for both. So, like I said, it could be sighted or unsighted, or anybody who's disabled. Don't give too much, y'all. Okay, like for example, don't say your bad shit. I'm gonna just say that. Like this is kind of for disabled people. When they say something that will hinder you, nothing hinders you, baby. If they say, "Can you move a mountain, bitch?" I can pick that bitch up and move it however you want me to. Okay, now because they're gonna try to look for a down. Oh, this like playing with my eyes, y'all. That's why my eye flickering up and down. They're gonna try to look for something to say. If a job want to tell you no, they can't tell you no because you're disabled. When you go to that interview, they technically can't tell you no. And I'm not supposed to tell y'all that, but I'm in a manager position right now. But technically, once you go to that interview, they cannot tell you no. Okay, and that's just for disabled people because they can use that against you. You can use that against them. They might find another reason, but they would definitely not tell you no because you're disabled, your disability. But don't give too much. If they say, okay, how would you use the fryer? Bitch, the same way John used that bitch when he got sight. You put the fries in that fryer and drop that shit in the oil. You don't have to be technical. You put the fries in the thing, drop it in the oil, push the button. You ain't got to tell them all that. You're going to get in the basics. I'll put the fries in the basket and drop it in the oil. How would you put burgers on the grill? I'll put them bitches on the grill. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Because guess what? It's always a way to do it. Okay? It may not be the way that they want you to, because most likely they're not going to put you in that position anyway. So if they ask you, can you do this? Yes, you can. Okay? And I'm not being funny. I'm not being disrespectful. Even if I'm not assuming anything about anybody that's a WMPT, because I'm going to tell y'all a story. I don't give a damn if you got 1 arm, no arms, 2 arms. If they ask you, can you put that meat on the grill? Yes, the fuck you can. Never, capital never tell them you cannot do something because they're looking for that reason to say, okay, well, unfortunately, this part of the job, Bitch, you want me? What you want me to do? Wash windows? I can't see them motherfuckers, but bitch, I'll spray that shit down and wipe it. Okay? They're not asking you because they're gonna put you in that position. Okay? They're asking you because they want to say no. And so they're looking for a reason to say no. Never give them that reason to say no. I can do any fucking thing. I can move mountains. I can climb trees. I probably can. I ain't never been a tree climber, y'all know. Y'all know I've been a closet, little thing. I ain't never been, I've been, a little bougie. I ain't never wanted to play in the dirt and shit. But, and the reason why I say this is because I was working at, we're going to call this place Headache. Because, bitch, they got on my motherfucking nerves. We're going to call this place motherfucking Headache, okay? So I used to work at Headache, and I was one of the to-go specialists at Headache. And when I clock in the Headache, I literally get a fucking headache because I fucking hated it. But they didn't know that. I still walked in and say, thank you for choosing Headache. What can I get for you? You know what I'm saying? It was Veterans Day. And this young lady called in. I guess she was in the war or whatever. And I remember I took her order. And I said, thank you for choosing Headache, on blah, 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 blah. What can I get for you? She literally ordered maybe like almost $200 worth of food. Ew.
Oh my bad.
You playing footsie with me up under the thing. So she had ordered like $200 worth of food or whatever. So when she came in, I was the one that cashed her out, and she was a WMPT. She had lost both of her arms in the war. And so I felt so bad. And like I said, it's a lack of knowledge. So I said, hey, do you need help? And I asked anybody that need help, whether they was an amputee, regular person, whatever. I asked, do you need help? Because that's part of the job, right? She said, no, I got it. She wasn't rude about it. She said, no, I got it. And she literally lifted the bags up with what she had and walked out the door. And she got the door for herself and all. And I was like, wow, I didn't know she could do that. And I would be the first to say, like I said, it's lack of knowledge. I didn't know she could do that. And she did it. So she shocked me. And to be honest, even me being blind, she kind of gave me inspiration. Like, okay, if this person can do this, so the fuck can I? I can get my ass up and I can go to work and I can, take care of what the fuck I got to take care of. Well, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just cussing up a storm, y'all. But y'all know my mouth's dirty. Y'all been on my page long little bitch. But, yeah, but, that's just 5 things to teach you how to get the job. But the main one is but this is for my blinders out there, and dictate that conversation as much as you can. Be in control of that conversation as much as you can, okay? Don't let the manager, don't let him ask more than you. Because guess what? You know your disability better than anybody. You know your limitations better than anybody. Never let them limit you. I did that. I messed up with the first company, which was Confused. I'm gonna call that company Confused because they just really didn't know. They wasn't doing anything bad, but they just really didn't know. It was a lack of knowledge. I let them dictate the conversation, and that's how I ended up in that position that I ended up in. So that taught me a lot. Y'all dictate that conversation, okay? So I'm gonna close out there. I just want to give y'all a couple of tips about how to get the job, being blind or disabled or anything. Just a couple of things that you could do just to help that interview go along. So before I get into my next topic, I'm going to ask Cadillac if she has anything to add to this.
I guess it's for anybody that is working.
I'm going to take a sip.
Because it's not so much always disclosing your disabilities and stuff like that. Because I have a lot of disabilities, and if you listen to me on my channel, y'all already know what it is. Beyond being legally blind, I've had the challenges of that. I am a graphic designer that went through. I have this sparkling, whatever this is. Oh, Sierra Mist. I actually became a graphic designer and went through most of my classes without them even knowing that I was legally blind. Yeah, they wondered, hey, this girl's always in the front of the classroom. That's because I can't see the board. I'm in the front. They just thought I was just front and center. I was interested in everything. But then my computer, they would always, why are you so close to the computer? Because I can't see, like for real. I can't see. They didn't know that though. But so I went through a whole thing. And when they did find out that, hey, like I've been through all these classes, but in the end of my school career, it started messing with me because like I depend on hard contacts. They call them gas permeable contacts. Without them, I guess you call, I don't even know what you call that, but I see watercolors and I see shapes and I see figures moving. That's what I see without my contact. So it became where when that contact break, baby, I'm out of commission. I go from, floating around to boom, I'm, almost the same, running over stuff and this and that and stuff like that. And they were like, oh my gosh, like we never knew. Like we honestly never knew that. So the moral is you gotta be, ooh, and I've had this on many jobs because for me, when I can't do something, I don't come in and say, hey, bitch, I can't do this, I can't do that, I can't do this, and that bothers me, and that. No, I get on that job. I be fearful. It's a lot of fear inside of me taking a new job, a lot of fear because I already know the limitations that, are on my body. I know those limitations. And a lot of times starting a new job, I don't know if I can do it until I try to do it. And it's like I go in it, and if this is not working, my brain it figures out some type of way to still complete the task. And I might be completing the task, like you mentioned, in a different way, a different manner, but that task is still getting done. And sometimes it's getting done faster than those that are doing it the way, that everybody
Right.
was shown to do it.
But
And they come, they come at me like, girl, why you doing this like this? You supposed to do it like this. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'm like, oh, because I do things a little bit different. And they're like,
Right.
girl, but you, blah, 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 blah.
But see, this is okay. So this is what Cadillac. Me and her had this conversation the other day. So this is what I told her. Just because she likes to go in, I mean, we all our brain works that way. Like, cause I'm like that too. Like, if that puzzle piece ain't working,
no,
I'm
but
gonna
I
figure it
always
out.
had to do that because
But
I've actually been injured since I think I was in my early 20s, and I basically wouldn't have been able to work had I not had that mind
yeah,
frame to
but see,
find some other
that's what I
type
was
of way.
saying.
And
Like,
they have hindered me since my 20s. There's so many jobs I could have and would have had I not had those limits over my body. But those limits
right.
are there. They're
But
there.
that's like me. So when people ask me how I cook, my brain is going to figure out a way for
You
me
find
to
a
do
way. When one thing
right.
go out, you're
So,
gonna find the next way.
but
But
this
don't
is the
always
only
down
thing,
people
though.
because they're doing things in a different manner.
Right.
You don't
But
know why.
you have to. So when it comes, see, okay, this is where I can use my manager versus non-manager skills here.
No, because people come at you all nastily.
No, but what I'm gonna say this, because I know a lot of people say it doesn't matter if you a manager and or versus like a cashier. It really do because you think differently. Your brain, it's not going to think like you're gonna think more business savvy than cashier savvy. Because a cashier coming in late just thinks that, oh, it's okay, I'm a few minutes late, but not realizing them few minutes is stopping someone else from either going home or going on break. So when they come back late, now the next person got to go late. When they come back late, now the next person got to go late. So you're messing up. You're on that schedule for a reason. You're in that hour slot for a reason. And a lot of people don't get that. When you call in, they think, okay, I'm just calling in. They can find somebody else. It's not that easy. Just
I wasn't talking about that.
No, but I'm just giving an example. Why being a manager, you think more business wise. So the fact that what I was telling Cadillac is that okay, she says she don't tell them her disability all the time.
Because
but
the thing is,
hold
a
on,
lot of times
let
that
me tell you.
disability does not interfere, and
Right,
I don't feel like
but-
it's always their business
But
because that's
here is
disclosing too
where-
much information.
But here is where it becomes serious. This is why I say manager versus an employee. Because if you hurt yourself, let's say you can't see one day and they don't know that you're blind. If you slip and fall and hurt yourself, it's on you because you failed to disclose, okay, I can't see that yellow sign down there. It looks like mush to me. Or I couldn't see that puddle, that big ass puddle of water there, or that soda there. I could not see that.
But that's
So-
the difference. That's not what I went in and said I can't see.
No, but what I'm saying is that you not disclosing your disability. So say y'all, can I say one of your disabilities?
Why? Which one you finna
Your
talk
hands.
about? Yeah, but okay. But once
so-
you go in,
But hold on,
when
let
you
me-
go
let me-
into
let me
a
give you an example.
situation
But hold
and
on,
you
one
in the
second.
interview, but bitch, I can't do this now.
No,
But bitch, I
no,
can't
no,
turn
no.
my neck.
No,
But like, I
you
can't
don't-
see you.
But see,
They be
that's
like,
why,
so what can you
correct,
do?
right. So that goes back to number
That's
2.
when-
You dictate the conversation. You let them know what you can do. So they have it in their mind. That's what I said. They have it in their mindset. Okay, well, she's saying she could do this X, Y, Z. Don't ever go in and tell them whether you disabled or not. Don't never go in and tell them you can't do this, you can't do that. You never do that.
I've never done
You
that.
let them
I've
figure
never
it the fuck
said-
out.
I've never said I
Shit.
can't do
But
that. I
because
can
you
do,
did not
I can do
disclose
it
that,
all.
But because
But
you didn't
when
disclose,
I get in there, that's when I realize, oh well, maybe this is
right.
That's why I
but
go
they're
into
not at that
every
point.
job.
They won't take it lenient on
I
you.
go
They're
to
not-
every job fearful.
But
But
you
every
have-
time I go
just
to a
listen-
new job,
listen to me
I'm
for a
fearful
second. But
because
you you shouldn't put that out there, because people will go in with that mindset thinking, okay, well, I'm going in and
well,
I don't
I'm
know.
just being honest with everybody. I have dealt with my disabilities that keep compounding. As I
But
get
your di-
older,
but
I get more
You're
and
not
more
telling your
disabilities.
disabilities have gotten in the way before.
They have
So, but
many
that,
times.
right? But
But
what
the
happened
thing
when they got in
is-
the way?
that I have to still just work through them.
I'm saying, but what happens when people starts talking and it gets to the manager starts pulling you in the office?
Then that's
and-
when I tell the manager that,
But
hey,
at that
you
point,
know,
the manager don't give a fuck because you didn't
no,
tell us in the
actually,
beginning.
they have given.
But I'm
the
just saying.
problem is you don't legally have to tell me. You can look at me and not think
It's
that
a-
I have a disability.
That's not technically true.
You
So
can
if
think
you
I
look,
don't. When they ask you, can you do X, Y, and Z? Because they gonna ask you. They like, even when I went in that laundry room, and they was like, well, can you do this? Can you do that? Can you do this? They will ask you, can you do or can you lift this much? Can you lift that much? They do ask you, can you do those
right?
things?
But what
right?
I'm saying, if you go
And
in, if you
go
say yes,
in, but
and you go in,
when I went into that job, let me tell you, I said, I have never done it before. If you show me, I'm sure I can do it. I've never said that, yes, specifically, because I always know I won't know if I can do it until my body tells me, Keita, you can do this, or Keita,
but
baby,
that's
you
when
can't
it's
do this
too
no
late,
more.
because now you be saying how your neck and your back
No, but
and your stuff be hurting.
we
But
disclosing too much. But to be
no,
honest
I'm
with you,
just saying
there's
you put
hardly anything that I can do that won't leave me in that state.
right, but
Which is
but
basically,
that's why
I can't work.
No, that's
But
not
I'm,
true.
I'm not
because
accepting
I'm in a
that.
state
I'm not
that
accepting
where
that I can't work.
Then I can
I'm
say
going to
I'm
work.
in a place where I can't work.
No, Mikey, we have different things.
But not really. My kidneys, that hurts.
Well,
I know y'all. I know I walk around smiling, but sometimes it's to the point where I'm dropping to my knees. I can't move. So,
well,
but
then
what I'm just
telling
saying,
you,
I
with
disclose
me,
that
there's
because
no way
if you
that-
ever go on a job and you don't tell them that, you don't disclose that, and the moment you get hurt, there's nothing
no,
you can
but
do.
it's not getting hurt. It's the thing is.
But now you're in
getting
a
hurt
situation where
within-
it's worse. Your situation is worse.
How is it worse?
You pay all this money for a chiropractor to get your body together because you're making it worse. You're doing things that you're not supposed to do.
My body is ruined.
Well, I'm gonna tell y'all this.
I'm being honest with you. My
Push
body
that.
is ruined.
Don't push that forward. Y'all
And-
let them know what your disabilities are, because you don't want to go. See, that's why I say we have two different
People
mindsets.
hold
because I
things
think
against
of
you once they
business.
find out this, and that. People actually do treat you in a different manner.
But then,
once
they
find
treat you
out.
the same because you're not
Mhm.
keeping up. It might be something that you're doing good now, but it might be a point. Like, can I tell you the situation that happened the other day?
No, because I still
Well,
work.
it might be a point.
You can give a certain scenario
might be a
about some
point
other type of
where
friend that you know
somebody-
somewhere else.
It might be a point where somebody thinking that you're doing something wrong because you can't,
No, but
you're
they
doing
were
something,
in that
and
situation.
they really don't know.
They
So you
were
really-
actually the wrong party. and I wasn't doing anything wrong, even with
No,
all my
but I'm
disabilities.
saying, right,
I wasn't
but
doing anything
that next
wrong.
person may gonna look at you and be like, well, why the fuck you doing it like that? That's not how you do it. Because the job.
And then
let me
in
tell y'all
that case,
this. When
I
a job,
go to the manager and I speak to the manager. I don't need to speak to that coworker about
Right.
anything that is going on with me. Baby, I'm here to work. You here to work. You, as long as we working and we getting this stuff done, you do
but see,
your
we're
thing.
never gonna
I do
agree
my
on that
thing.
because I'm thinking more business wise than realistic wise. Because business wise, if you go into a company and don't let them know that you hurt in the specific, like, okay, I have sciatica in my right leg and back. If I go to a job and I drop and fall because my sciatica done kicked in, there's nothing I can do because I did not disclose that with the job. They can always accommodate you. Like, don't make where you in a situation
sciatica
where
doesn't always
no,
mean that
I'm
you
using
can't
that as I was just
do
using
this
that as
because
a,
I
as
have
a
that
disability.
too. I got that.
No,
shit
I'm
too.
using it as an example. But some people, just because every level of sciatica is different.
If I know that something is gonna really, like, I really cannot do this job, of course, I'm gonna let them know.
But you're not
I
gonna
don't
know
have
it like
to
you
let
said
them
until
know
you get in it.
every single aspect because
I
that's
didn't
really
say no.
way too way too much information.
But what
Because
I'm
I have
saying
several
is that you can't.
disabilities.
Right, but you have
And
to have to use the disability that you have has to pertain to the job. I know if I got corporate tone in my hands, I can't be going make wrapping fucking sandwiches all day.
No, but
because that's just gonna make it work. And it's not
to
being
be honest,
lazy.
if you have carpal tunnel, it's not a lot you can do at all.
But what I'm
Because
saying,
I
it's
have
not being
carpal tunnel.
lazy.
I
It's
can't even
just-
hardly do this. Y'all see how I'm shaking these hands out, but I have not put this pencil down yet. This carpal tunnel is really making this hand numb while I'm holding this board. But baby, I'm still writing up on here because the first time I let carpal tunnel hold me back would have been when I was 22 years old. I wouldn't have even worked another day
you're
in my
thinking I'm
life.
saying telling them because you don't want to do this in the job. That's not what I'm saying.
But it's not much I can do with carpal tunnel.
Right.
To be honest.
It's
to
something,
be
it's jobs
honest.
that you can do that you don't have to use your hand.
So, baby, where them jobs at? Because I've been looking for them jobs.
You can just stand there and be like, "Thank you."
That's when the sciatica acts up. When I get one job that it doesn't. It may not hurt the carpal tunnel too much.
You can can have
sciatica. It hurts sitting down too.
You can have an accommodation where they can accommodate you. You can sit down and take freaking breaks. A job has to accommodate your disability regardless. But going in there and not saying nothing, and then you get hurt, you're gonna be screwed.
But there's no.
They're not gonna pay your medical bills.
No, it doesn't mean that because you have that disability is the reason you got hurt.
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying
because of doing something you shouldn't be doing that you know your body can't
But what
do.
I'm saying, okay, so if we're looking at business wise, like I said, guys, when you're doing something, we're gonna do it the best way that we can do it with our disability. But it's wrong. The reason why the job has that in place is because people have tested that out, and that is the correct way to do it with less hurting and less visibility. That's the right. Hold on. But that's the right way to do it. So, but when you're doing it, whether we know, just like Burger King have a specific way to build a Whopper. Mayonnaise, lettuce, and on the burger you put the burger meat, the cheese, the lettuce, the onions, the pickles, and 3 squirts ketchup. Now, whether you make that burger with that cheese on the top, the bottom, to the side, it's gonna taste the same, right? Well, in their mind, no, it's the ingredients. This is how you build it. That's the correct way to build it, and you would get reprimanded if you were doing it wrong. So, even though that's the correct way to do it, in my mind, I'm like, okay, well, we could just make it like this and it'd be a lot faster. You know what I'm saying? That's not how they want it done. So what I'm saying is that you can't do it the wrong way like that and do it the way that you want without with the job not knowing that you have a disability. Hold on, let me get this out.
Because going back to the last job I was in, I did things differently. But they never said
they said something about you hanging wrong.
They never said that I can't hang that way. Everybody just came in hanging the same way. Everybody, that's just like if everybody uses their right hand. Hey, everybody just came in here
But
using
they,
their right
but they,
hand.
act, they
And
did
I came
ask
in
you.
using my left. Bitch, why you use your left hand like that? We all use our right. Oh, okay. Well, management said I can use my
But
left.
that's different when
I'm
it
using my
comes
left
to hands. But what
because
I'm saying,
but that was the same
they did say something
situation.
about you were
That
hanging
was
wrong. Why were you hanging like that?
no, that was the same thing.
Even okay, what about
Management
the
never
the
said,
pants when they said the way you
listen,
were doing the pants
listen,
and they said the pants was wrong?
listen. Management never said I can't hang it that way. Everybody came. The reason they said it was wrong because they were all using their right hand. And here this
But I
bitch
thought
come
you
with they
said
left.
with you gotta hang one at a time. And they
That's
said something about hanging one at a time.
because nobody else hung 2 by 2.
Because that wasn't the right way.
No, how do you know that wasn't the right way?
Saying.
And when I talked to the manager never would have said, "Oh, sure, fine." When we came in, they said you can hang 2 on each hole, on each hook. You can hang.
But
2.
what I'm
they
saying,
came in saying you can hang 2. So when I took it upon myself to hang 2 at a time, because you told me I can hang 2, y'all the one choose to still hang 1 by 1 and do all that arm motion. But I'm finna modify it and hang 2 because management said I can hang
what
2.
about the
But that's
pants
why
situation? When they said
management
the pants was
came
you
back.
couldn't do the pants like
That's
that.
why management came back. And when I kept doing it, they never said anything. And now other people, ABC, they thinking, well, why she still hanging them 2 by 2? Because management never said I couldn't do that. They would have came in and corrected that.
In jobs,
but had they came, if anybody came up and asked me, and when the manager did ask me, why am I hanging them 2 by 2? Because it came up.
Right.
I told them.
Never came up, but you told them you hang it why?
I told them why.
Why?
But the thing was,
but no. What did you say though,
Mikey? I'm not going to put too much information.
But no, but
did
you
but listen to what I'm
disability?
saying. I explained it.
Okay,
and they said you're fine to keep hanging them 2 by 2.
Disability. That's
they
what
said, but I did not have to
accommodation.
disclose that to A, B, and C.
But if you
that was hating,
right? But
I didn't have to.
tell
That's
the
not.
manager.
I don't have to tell them nothing.
But I never said
all they need to know.
I said management. You have to discuss that with management.
But what I'm saying is that it be the employees that reels up the management to where she's doing this wrong. Why is she doing this? Why is she doing that?
True enough, a manager would have never approached you if that was the way that it was supposed to be done.
No, a manager didn't approach. They didn't care.
I'm saying, you said
that the people went to the management.
I gotta explain.
Why is she studying using her right hand? Why is she using her right hand? Her left hand.
If a manager approached you, whether 10 million employees think I'm telling me something. If you're doing it right, I'm never gonna approach you. I don't care who told me. It doesn't matter.
No, the managers came in and said you can't hang them 2 by 2. When we first got that system, they said
right, but they probably changed it because
they never changed.
But what I'm saying, then they would have never approached you that way. That's what I'm saying.
What the whole point of it was. When you're a employee working with other people, you don't have to know everything about your other employees.
Right.
All you need to know is if this work is getting done.
Right. But if it's not getting done,
no, it was getting done.
Well, let me say this. Let me say this
done.
because everybody
was getting done better than the people that had range.
You're basing things off of yourself, how you do it. Everybody's not going to do it that way. Everybody can't do it. Go in and put their body. I'm not, number one, I'm lazy because you already know I've worked my ass off since I was 15. But I'm not going to go in and tell them, no, I can't do this, I can't do that, and not disclose my disability because I'm not going to make it worse for myself. I'm not going to if I know I got problems in my back, I'm not going to do something that's going to potentially hurt me more. I'm going to tell you up front, hey, you either can find me something to do, another situation, or this job ain't for me. But I'm not going to put myself.
You've gotten to the point where you have went to many jobs, and it's always every job you get, something does hurt you. You get to the point where you're like, I'm
That's
beyond this
because
pain.
you're not.
Forget this.
And but
I gotta work
but then you
through
have to
this
blame
pain.
yourself because a job is
Because
not going to make you do
listen,
that.
listen to
if
what
it's
I'm
bad.
saying. Listen to what
I'm
I'm
just
saying.
trying to get you to hear what I'm
If
saying to you. When
I have searched far and wide for the job that don't hurt my neck, that don't hurt my hands, where my hands don't go numb, where I can see everything. I have searched for that job.
Your
baby.
problem is that you're not.
I have
You don't feel like you gotta disclose
my
everything. If you
sciatica
disclose
doesn't
everything
hurt.
that's wrong with you, they're gonna find you something that you can do without it hurting
I
you.
have been to a lot of jobs, and they
But
seem
you
simple,
have never.
and they seem as though they should not hurt.
But you can't
And they
assume
hurt.
that. But
Or
see,
there's a
what
challenge.
I'm saying.
There's
Okay,
a
let
challenge.
me say this as coming from a standpoint of a manager.
So for me to keep working, for me in my mind, just dealing with me, for me to keep working, even me being a graphic designer, I went to school for 5 years. It took me 5 years. I was a single mother. It took me 5 years to become a graphic designer. Even graphic design hurts. These YouTube videos that nobody watches, sitting, editing hurts. Anything I do with my hands hurt.
But that's kind of
so that means,
personal though. We're talking about
but listen,
jobs.
It hurts. No. This is my career. This is what I really want to be. But I don't want. But what I'm saying,
let me say this: the difference between
if I'm
a
not
job
going to be
and a
in
career,
pain,
that's something that you want to do. So you're going to push yourself.
I push myself in my job as well.
But what I'm saying is that
what I'm telling you, for me, if we're gonna go off pain, then I might as well sit down all day.
Me too.
Because
if
anything,
we going off pain,
well then that's your choice just as well as my choice. Right. I choose to not retire right now. I would have had to retire at age 22 if I wanted to be pain-free. But I want to create. I'm an artist. I want my art out here, whether it hurts, whether these hands are numb. I'm going to create as long as I got blood running in my body. As long as I wake up and I can see something,
passion.
I'm going to work.
But
I work too.
But hold on, let me explain.
Not just this.
But
I work.
You're saying,
my 9 to 5 as well.
Okay, but
and
hold
it's not my passion.
Let me
but
say
I
this.
Get on my job.
Okay, well, if we're doing that, so let's say this: when it comes to FMLA versus that, you're gonna take that time off work and then work on your passion, correct?
You're going the whole opposite direction.
No, I'm not
live
talking
on the
about
internet.
you.
So
I'm just saying in general.
I am not finna go anywhere like that.
I'm saying in general, not you. I'm just saying in general.
For me,
this is what. Hold on, one second.
Even work.
I'm
gonna have pain.
Let me say this for 1 second.
That is the bottom.
But you're gonna have pain. Mm-hmm. There's no like me
because I can't free my body of the pain I'm in.
Correct.
I've tried.
Correct. But if you're gonna push through it, I would rather push through it with something that's not going to potentially make it work. What you have been doing these years.
But I've been told that it actually made me stronger. Because when I walked into that chiropractor, they said your body is so ravaged to the point that you're like a 70-year-old, and I wasn't even 40.
But you've been going to the chiropractor.
How are you still moving?
Let me
How are you still doing that? Okay. And it's because my body is so strong because it goes through the pain. It still works through.
What I'm saying, you're saying, but what you're talking about is totally different. You saying you work through the pain. We get that. No, everybody in YouTube get that.
Okay,
but what I'm saying,
if I come into your interview and you say, "Hey, do your hands hurt?" Yeah, my hands hurt. Hey, can you see? No, I can't see that good.
No,
hey,
but
your neck swell up? Yeah, my neck swells up.
Listen to
your
what
sciatica
I'm
bothers you?
You're not.
Yeah,
you're not
listening
to what I'm
so
saying.
We don't know
but
what we can do for you.
Listen to what I'm saying because you missed what I was saying. That's why I said when you disable, you have to dictate the conversation. Never let the manager dictate that because they don't know your disability. So when you go in and say, "Hey, I can do X, Y, Z, I was taught this, that, and that." They're gonna say, "Okay, what you can't do is nothing I can't do." But you went in. You don't know what you can do until you take that position. When I got hired at the job that I was at, when I got hired at what did I get that job, y'all? Was it Headache? No, it wasn't Headache. It was Confused. When I got hired at Confused, that lady asked me, "What can you do? What accommodations you need?" I don't know until I get there to do it. I wouldn't know until I'm in that position. But this is what I'm going to tell you before what I can do. Because once you tell them what you can do, they don't care what you can't do. They don't care about that because you dictated that conversation. You gave them what they're looking for. They don't care. If you go in, if I'm your manager interviewing you, you tell me, shit, I'm the best burger maker I can be. I can make this waffle with my eyes closed, blind and all. I can do this. I don't need to know what you can't do because you know what? You can do what I need you to do. You can make that Whopper. That's what I'm hiring you for as a sandwich maker. So that's what I just said. But you're the way that you're saying it. What I was trying to get out.
You're saying that I should come in disclosing.
No. What I'm saying
my
is that the job. If you are applying for a cashier position and you got carpal tunnel,
I don't apply. I'm not going to apply for that position.
But okay,
I'm going to avoid that.
But then what if they say, well, this is the only position we have?
Then I have to find another job.
Okay, then that's how you would look at it. But me personally, being your family, it has been times where you've told me this job is hurting you. This job, and then I say, but hold on, you gotta let me.
Since I was 22.
Let me get it out. And I say,
since I was 22.
And I say Cadillac. Well, you have to, talk to them and let them know that it's hurting you because it's not just hurting you right now; it's making your problem worse.
The last job, we ain't gonna say that. Some jobs just hurt because we know pain is going to be with my body moving because of the disability.
But I never had a job I was in pain.
Like my hands. You don't have the issue I have, so you wouldn't have.
Right, that. But I'm just saying, but even in general,
levels of pain.
I've never. But you were saying jobs in general have pain.
There's tremendous pain that I can't even function through. And then there's pain that, hey, just like now, my hands are in pain. I'm up here on a live, I'm chilling, and we having fun, and I'm drawing for y'all. But baby, these hands hurt. They hurt.
You gotta have.
So there's levels of pain.
But you gotta have a sense of security.
Point is,
if you go in,
I want a job with as less amount of pain as possible. But in my life, baby, I know there is going to be some pain.
Right, but this is what you have.
Even if I was that graphic designer and my graphic design business picked up, baby, there's pain involved in that.
But what I'm saying, as a disabled person, and I'm speaking strictly to disabled people, you want me being
in which I am disabled.
But I'm saying, but you got problems, but it's not. To me, it's not really disability problems, like. Because you don't know how what I'm saying feels. Is let me say this. You guys, when you are in a job, and I'm coming straight, this is from a manager standpoint, okay? Not a cashier, not nothing else. This is from a manager. When you need a level of security when you are disabled, because you may go in and thinking you're doing a wonderful fucking job. To them, it's no. They can fire you for low productivity because you're not doing that job the way that it's supposed to be done. You may think you're doing a fantastic job. You may think you're doing great, but your numbers probably probably not adding up with everybody else's, or your speed may not be correct with everybody else's, or you may be bringing up something wrong less than everybody else. With a disability, you have a level of security that, okay, well, we know you're going to be different because you can't see this screen. You can't see the food. You can't see this. You can't lift this. You can't lift 50 pounds. You can't lift 10 pounds. To you may think you're doing a wonderful job, but to actuality in management, they be like, what the fuck are they doing? And because they don't know, they're going to come at you if they don't know.
I've had a lot of jobs. In every job that I have been on, I have not been on one job where I have not been the star, where they're like, oh my gosh, like Kita just do this so well and that so well. And I get rave reviews, and these same people don't know the disabilities that.
But that's the same thing that if we want to be technical, that's the same. You said that they was coming to you. Now, my job, we worked at one company together.
That job,
and
that last job that I went to.
But this is what I'm saying.
Way too much. That was way beyond.
But what
I shouldn't have been there.
People are going to tell you a lot of people would tell you, like she said that they
No,
told
I
her.
know my
Hold on,
work
one
ethic,
second, one
and I
second,
know
one second,
how
one second.
great of
Let
a
me. I'm
worker
gonna
I
make a
am.
point real quick. When you said that they said, oh well, Mike don't work like this, Mike don't do good. But the managers, to the managers, Mike was a superstar. I got all high reviews. I never had a bad review on my reviews. But we wasn't even doing the same position. So they were just telling her that because we never even worked the same position. I was a cashier and a food server. And I was the shit.com. And they used to call me. I was the first person they called to come in and handle shit. I used to run the line. I was the only cashier that could run the cashiering and the food line at the same time. I was the only one that could do that. I used to get so many applied bucks, but the workers would be hating and tell her that, okay, well, you don't do this and Mike don't do this and Mike don't do that.
Thing
So
is, I know what good to you in your eyes, I may not be that great of a worker, and maybe I'm
I didn't even see you work.
I know when I wasn't disabled my whole life. No matter around, I'll say 22 is when I had the first bit of, hey, my body wants to do something, but it can't do anything. But I started working at 17. I have always went above and beyond. I have always been a dependable employee from day one. I have watched my mother and my father go to work every single day. My mother worked right up until she died. And my father work. He's still with us. And all he does is just freaking work. That's instilled in me. So I know no matter what disabilities I have, I know I go above and beyond, whether I had disabilities or not.
That's not,
I outwork some
point.
of the people that say they don't have disabilities. I'm just saying,
people
so
say.
You're saying they're just telling.
No, I didn't. No. Y'all
you
heard
me. Could be saying
no, I was using it as an example. I was using it as an example because I said people were saying that I wasn't a good, because you said you got rave reviews and this, and I was using it as an example and say you said that they came and told you I wasn't doing it, but in the eyes of the managers, my ass was being busted. Ooh, that didn't come out right. Well, I was busting my neck 24/7 to work hard.
Matter
and I've always got I've always executed a job.
I'm gonna try to find a way to adapt and still work. But if I come in telling you I can't do this, I can't do that, I can't do this, that's already.
But you don't go in telling them that.
No,
you don't go in saying that though.
You don't know me, but already you're gonna say, "Well, hey, bitch, we really don't want you working for us."
But the thing is, what I'm trying to get you to understand, it's gonna become one day where they're gonna want you to be in a position that you can't do. But and then what are you gonna tell them?
You're assuming.
No, I'm not.
You don't even know what I'm saying.
You're gonna say I'm assuming. You're
assuming that that's gonna happen. Right? That doesn't. I have worked. Listen, baby, I'm 40. I have worked half my years with disabilities. It doesn't always come down to that. Every job is different. That's what I'm telling you.
And that's what I'm trying to say. Every job is different. But every time, but let me say this, and I'm going to use this. But every time that a job has came to you and said something, like you said, they came to you about the anger, you had to disclose your disability. Or I can't see. Just recently, just recently, you just said the other day. Now we were just talking, y'all.
Nothing to do
we were just talking the day she went to work, and I had said, "Well, Cadillac,
we're not gonna get nowhere because that had nothing to do with my disability."
But you had to
tell
them.
The person was just being a butthole.
But you had to tell the management what was going on. Why this is
no, I didn't have to. I could have continued on, and I could have. I said I was going to stand up for myself. I'm tired of being everybody's floor mat to walk across. We're going to nip this in the bud right here.
We just going to agree to disagree because
I'm not going through what I went through on my last job. I'm not going to outwork your ass, be in pain, and then you going to shit on me. We're not doing that no more.
But
because that's what we've done in the past.
But
I outwork your ass.
They feel like you feel the same way, that they outwork you and they be in pain. So you can't really say that because you're assuming. You're assuming.
Bitches leaning over the counter just talking, "Hey girl, how you doing?" That's a lot of fucking pain.
No, her back might be hurting. That's why she's leaving.
Girl. Oh, guess.
Her ankle, like she might be pregnant. Her ankles.
What you want today? What you want? You want a burger? You want this? You want that?
But in
No matter how
actuality,
much
y'all,
pain.
I do
Hi
feel
guys,
that
welcome.
you gotta, because I mean I
It's a
did
great
that,
day. I'm in pain now.
y'all.
My freaking
I be
head
getting
won't
out of
stop hurting.
dialysis. I be getting out of
My head
dialysis, and
won't
I will
stop
go to
hurting.
work tired. If anybody ever have a family member that do dialysis, y'all know I don't even have to explain. It's a beyond. You can't even explain how exhausted and tired your body be. And I've been tired from working. I've been tired in pain and working 3, 4, 5 months at a time with no break. I've been that tired, and nothing would compare to that tiredness that you doing in dialysis, because it's almost like giving blood, and they're sucking your blood out and putting it back in. It is drained. It's like your mind is full of energy, but your body is drained. And I go to work and I could barely move my arms, but I fold 500 fucking pizza boxes and still get. They don't even know I have dialysis because I put that smile on and go, because you don't bring your home problems into work. You know what I'm saying?
That's exactly what I started the conversation out saying.
But I had already said that when I
was trying to address is that co-workers that like all this nitpicking.
But you don't have to tell the co-workers. But I do feel like management and business-wise, you don't have to go into full disclosure, but give them the leniency to give you an opportunity to do something. Because like I said, you may not be doing, and not you, I'm just speaking in general.
Be honest,
you may not be doing
that job. That we worked together, nothing ever came up. Nobody ever said Keita wasn't working. Nobody ever said, well, Keita ain't making sure this done. Nobody ever said every job is different.
Nobody said
so it never came up.
But
so
nobody
why would
never,
I have needed to disclose
you
it
gotta
to them?
remember, nobody never told me that either.
I didn't have to disclose it to them. What would it be to benefit me to come in there telling them my life? And then at this point, now you can discriminate against me because I have told you. And you don't know what I can do. It never came up. If it comes up, hey, that's when you got to deal with it. For me, not for everybody else out there, because everybody's disability is different.
Correct.
Also know that some people that look fully able-bodied still have disabilities. That's discrimination sometimes when you're like, oh, well, how they disabled? Right, baby, you don't know
that's all I was saying,
what they go through.
When you say,
can't
well,
see on the outside.
I've worked harder than them in pain, and they don't, but in their mind, they probably think
no, but I sit
thing.
Up and ask them, are you,
but the same way you ain't gonna disclose it. I'm not just
this,
gonna tell you my disability. You're the manager.
You can kind of tell a person
I'm not gonna tell
on
you.
A job that's just there winging it. And
like you
make
people look at me and like, think I got sight. They don't know I'm on dialysis or nothing. But I'm just not gonna tell the net. You come to me and say,
there are some lazy people that get on jobs and feel like they shouldn't do nothing.
But I'm not. But I'm not speaking of lazy people.
And I don't do.
But just because you have just because you tell them a disability
and
doesn't mean that you're
them.
Gonna be lazy and this.
No,
and that,
but
and
what
that,
I'm saying is I will outwork them. But you're saying, well, what if they are in just as much pain as you? You can tell they're not even attempting to work. By you saying you've been a manager all these years, know the people that are working and people that's just there.
But
BSing
you can't assume. I
can't
know
assume who's there BSing and
but
shit.
Yeah, if you plan, but the thing
is,
if you playing around, you can't just tell somebody isn't paying by sitting here. They may not be doing nothing. They supposed to be on the side, but I can't tell what they're doing by sitting here. Now, if you joking around, girl,
that's what I'm saying. I'm outworking them. The people that are just different. The people but that's what they were doing. They were laughing and joking and hey, girl, blah 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 blah. Not even doing anything. Barely lifting up anything, and I'm outworking them. That's what I'm saying. Y'all laughing and giggling, talking, ain't hardly doing nothing, but you're steady coming telling on me. And I'm working harder than you. I see I'm working hard. I'm hanging more than you.
But then you're comparing yourself to a lazy person. But a person who's actually
But I am in pain is what I'm saying. And I'm outworking you. But we getting paid the same.
I mean, if they would work and put the effort into it, then what will be the same? You're outworking them because they're not doing the job. They're lazy. So that's like if you go up against a regular worker, then it would just be average. But if I go up against somebody, like when I worked at Confused, because those people didn't want to do anything, and I came in there working, they were like, oh my God, you work better than, and this is praise that I was getting almost every day. You work better than this person, they're not doing this. And it wasn't because I was just a phenomenal worker. It was because I'm doing the job and nobody else is doing it. They're not doing it. If they were doing it, then we would probably be equal. But because they're not doing it, I'm coming in doing the job.
Well,
I'm overworking
that's
them.
considered outworking them.
Right, but it's because
And
they don't want to work. Now,
Well,
if you were in pain and I like me,
I have worked with, like you say, without disabilities and with disabilities. And I work just as hard, even with all my disabilities.
yeah,
And
of course. But a
was
disability don't
always,
mean
even
you're not going to
when,
work hard.
even
Discussing
when,
that doesn't mean that they're going to take you out the
listen to what I'm
job, though.
saying. Even when I didn't have all these disabilities, I outworked people around me because I am a hard worker.
Right,
I go
but
above and I go beyond.
you're kind of changing the
Beyond.
subject. It's not about working hard with a disability. It's about if I feel like as in a businessman, I don't want nobody working for me and you don't disclose nothing with me, then you get hurt. That goes on that company. That goes on the company. That's not fair to the company. If it's gonna be
something that can hurt you that you're doing, then you have to disclose
That's
it.
what I said.
I'm not.
You
You telling me go in and tell all this?
No,
it may not even have nothing to do with
you
that
disclose
company.
your disability that pertains
If
to the
you
job.
know that it's going to be a problem.
Right, I said that. You were going on saying that you ain't got to tell them nothing.
It's not going to be a problem. I don't have to tell you.
Right. That I said you disclose your disabilities upon the job that you are
They come in, they say, can you do this? Yes, I can do that. Can I do this? Can I do this? Can I do this? I don't have to say, I can do this, but I can't do that. And I can't do this. I can't do that.
Did you hear anything I said?
do not.
I said you don't go in there disclosing that information. You go in telling them what you can do. Like, you don't tell them what you can't do. I stated that like 10 times.
Okay, and so when I took my job, they asked me, can you do this, this, and this? And I honestly answered them, yes, I could do this, this, and this. There's some side stuff that came out, which I didn't have to go say anything.
But what I'm saying, okay, let's say you're saying, yes, I could do this, this, and this. Then later down the line, it may not bother you now. But let's just say if it bothers you later, you're going to continue to work in pain and you ain't going to say nothing.
I have to move forward. I have to find something else because if you don't remember this,
job that
if you don't remember this, every job I do is going to hurt. It's always hurting. It's always been pain. It's levels of pain. Is this tolerable pain or is this pain I cannot work with?
Well, I'm sorry. I'm not going to do a job that's going to potentially put me
Then I have to stop the workforce
a situation
now, and
that's going to make me worse. Like, if I know this job is like the job I'm at now, procrastinate. They asked me when I did my interview. They said, "Can you lift more than 50 pounds?" I said no because hey, I can't. My left arm is my dialysis arm. I can't lift no more than 10 pounds in that arm. So that has to be accommodated because if I go lifting that can potentially cause my vessel to bust in my arm. But I'm not going to do
almost everything that I do is going to irritate.
But hold on one second. But everything that I would do I can't lift no more than 5 pounds in this wrist, y'all. This is why I severed my wrist. I can't lift anything in 10 pounds because this is why I do my dialysis. So technically, I can't use my hands get tired. I can't do a lot with my hands. I can't do the tasks that you need me to do. But me going in and saying, okay, I can do this, or I'm going to try to do it. I don't know if I can do it until I do it, and then it starts hurting me. Now you have to find something else. It's not just easy for a company to just find you something else. I'd rather you know what's going on up front, and you can accommodate it that way. And then that way, if I can say, well, this position don't work, then if anything happens, then that's on them. But I'm not going to go into a position with a disability and just accept it and say, I don't know what I can do until I get in it. And then this shit don't work. So everybody, she may be the ox in the middle of the storm, but everybody's not like that.
I don't know how to actually to where you can understand it.
I understand. I don't think you understanding what I'm saying.
Any work that I do,
I get it. You can't do
related.
It. I get that.
No, baby, I can do it.
But it's something. It's a million jobs out there.
I have tried a million. I've tried a lot of jobs. I have dealt with. I have been
It's,
to where my
I don't
hands can
think
barely
you tried.
move since I was
It's jobs
22.
where you don't have to do nothing. You could just stand there. It's jobs you could do from home where
Okay,
you don't
just
have to do
standing
nothing.
there is
Or you
going to
could
cause
sit
a
there.
problem.
You could sit in
Just
That's
sitting
an
there,
accommodation.
I'm telling you,
But
that causes problems with the sciatica. They can
okay,
say
and
your
when I
job
told
is
them
only sitting there
with-
and standing there, and it's still going to bother or irritate something. Now, it could be tolerable for me, but I'm going to be in some type of pain is what I'm trying to relate to you.
and I get that. I get
could
that
possibly
wholeheartedly. But you can't.
rather-
But if it gets worse, you
I could
cannot go to
rather-
that job and say this
I
position
could
is
rather-
making it worse.
I
Because they're
can
gonna look at you
rather-
crazy.
When have I ever said that my position is
But-
making it worse?
I'm saying, let's be real. Like we've talked, and you told me that what you do hurts your hands, it hurts your back. You can't do this, you can't do that. It's making it worse. You got a
And I do
chiropractor.
it.
So, but
No,
you're making
no.
your body worse by doing that.
So
You're
then
not making it
give
better.
me the suggestion then. I should not work. There's no other
I've
choices.
I've told you go to
There's
HR.
really no
HR,
other
they
choices.
have they have a position.
Oh
Where you
my
work
God.
at is
I
a million
have
jobs.
worked- I have worked for many years, and I know all the different things that are wrong with me. And I have tried.
Right.
This is not.
But
this is
You
a
can't, but you
conversation
can't
that you're
say,
giving to somebody.
but
that
you
is
can't
not
say
trying.
a job is not
I
going to work for
know.
you
I
when
have
you
been
never
to-
disclose
I've
everything
been
that's
to
wrong with you for them to
many
try to work
different
with it.
types of jobs.
Right, but
I only
the fact that
apply-
you do not disclose.
I only apply for things that I think I can possibly do.
Okay,
But I have
but
to
what
get-
I'm saying, listen to what I'm saying. You can't say, okay, well, I've tried every job with my disability because you haven't. Just because you think you
what
can
I'm
do
saying
it. Hold
is
on
I've
one second,
tried
one second.
many,
You
many,
think you can do
many,
it, but they know better. If you go and say,
many
hey,
jobs.
this is what's going on. What they're doing to me now is trying to find a position. I gave them all my disabilities. This is what I'm capable of, and this is what,
And
that's
then
what.
when they come out with the list of things that you can take, right? And you get one of them and it still irritates it. And then you go
But-
to another one and it's still,
But
you
see,
still
my
have the
job
problem.
is still
It's
secure.
down to the
It's
bottom.
no,
It's
because
down to
I
the
didn't
bottom
really
because
have that
you
problem
tried
with the position
all the
I was just
different things.
at. It wasn't that position was hurting me. It didn't do anything to my sciatica or my kidneys, even though I'm nauseated every day. I wake up in pain. My side is hurting. I could barely move. I have kidney pain, a pinched nerve, and sciatica all on the same side. So I can barely move sometimes. But that didn't hurt me at the job. But I still disclosed that because, hey, if it's something that you're going to ask me to do, you already have my limitations that I cannot do this. I'm not going to do anything that's going to make it worse. So what they're going to do now is I have a security. Because if you don't say nothing, they can fire your ass while you in pain and you sitting there figuring out how you going to pay your bills because, well, my back was hurting. This is why I couldn't do that. They don't care at that point.
No, because it's kind of different at this point because I have been in the same company. So I've just moved around. So it's different at that point.
But
so we're not in the
you
same.
may come to a location
we're
where
not in the same issue. What I'm saying is if I was going to a whole completely sky blue company and they tell, first of all, I'm
let me tell you
I'm
this.
gonna
A
already,
company do not care how long you're there if you're not doing that job. I'm
doing the job.
But what I'm saying, if it comes to a point, now you're in a new location. So this location, it may not be right. You may finna come to a point where it's gonna say, "Oh, this shit ain't working. We're just gonna let you go."
But then if that's what happened, that's what happens. What I'm saying, these are the challenges that come with me having several different disabilities.
Right, but those are the challenges you putting on yourself. I wouldn't tell nobody else to put that challenge on themselves.
I didn't tell
if
nobody
you choose,
to do that.
You telling lies to not disclose their stuff.
No, I didn't. That is not what I said. I said I don't. If you don't have to, then you don't have to.
But you see,
have to.
But you see, you went through a whole bunch of stuff not doing that. I'm gonna be real honest, and don't take it personal, but you make stuff harder on yourself because instead of disclosing that, you could have. You act like you telling them you moving keys in the West Indies, like you telling them your health, but you have went through a lot of stuff with that company too because of your disability. But that's the part you're not telling them. You have been through a lot of
You're
stuff.
only going to the last couple of years of my.
But I'm just no, because you moved out of the
there.
first location because of your disability. Then you moved out of the second
Because
location
you're
because of your
forgetting
disability.
the first
Now you
point.
moved out of the third location because of your
But
disability.
you're missing the initial point.
No.
There is going to be either
But
I have
I'm just
to
saying,
stop working.
like,
there's no
but-
other bottom
but
line.
you're making it seem like that
I
you never
either
had
have
a situation with
stop.
your disability.
There's different levels, is what I'm telling you.
We
There's
get
gonna
that.
be
Y'all
things.
get that, right? We
Everything
get that.
that
But what
I
I'm
do
saying is you make it worse
is
when
going
you
to
don't
be
have
pain.
that security. Because it almost got to a point where they were, no matter how long you were there, they were going to let you go. So that's what I'm saying. What saved you
No,
is the
what I was
disability.
saying is that I couldn't do that position. That was the worst I've ever tried to do within what I can and can't
I
do.
get
That was the worst ever.
the part that you
It
missing
doesn't
is all I'm
always
saying.
get down to that point.
But all I'm saying, it got bad at one point because of the disability, not disclosing it. Y'all,
no,
if
it
you
wasn't
let me,
not
let me,
disclosing it.
let
I
me say
disclosed
this.
it. They
If y'all
knew.
are not, if y'all
They
are
knew.
uncomfortable, then don't apply for that job. I'm gonna just say
They
that.
knew.
Don't apply for the job if you're gonna be uncomfortable with disclosing what you're going through, because you're gonna go through a lot of hell. Trust me, you're gonna go through a lot of hell by not disclosing what's going on with you, because the job do not know, and they can fire you for not knowing because you might not
If
be doing
it
the job
comes
correctly.
up.
But
it
I'm-
doesn't always come up.
But
You don't always
it
have
has.
to.
But
People
you
discriminate against people with disabilities.
correct.
People do discriminate.
That's correct. That's 100%
I have been
correct.
discriminated against.
But
I
at
am not
least
going
you have
to
a
tell you,
security.
hey, here's some things you might want to discriminate me against.
But
you
that
might not
discriminates
never
you
want to give me
for
a
doing
chance
a poor
for.
job.
You might
what's
not
the
never
difference?
let me have a chance because I have XYZ.
But that's not true. You're looking at it in a
Well,
negative way. That's
where
not true.
Everybody
That's not always true with a company, because
But
I didn't get
the
treated
whole
that way
point of
being
this
disabled.
is there's different spectrums. You feel one way, I feel one way, and I'm sure there's many multiple people watching this that can agree with you, that can agree with me. For me, baby,
But I feel like you saying don't disclose it because it's a way
I've never
of getting
told
out of
I've
doing
never
this
told
and doing that.
nobody not to.
But no, I'm saying,
disclose anything.
but when you
See,
speak
you
on
said
it, hold
you
on, one second.
had to disclose.
No, when
You
you
have
speak,
to.
when
You
you
have
speak
to.
on it, because I have a disability that I can't get around.
Okay.
I can't get around being blind, so they're gonna know.
Because
so
it's
that's
always
pointless.
but I
What I'm
don't
saying,
have
but
to.
you keep conveying the two, relating the two, saying, okay, I got a disability, I didn't disclose it, but I work. So it's like to people, it's saying, if you disclose your disability, you just don't want to do this. No,
that's not.
But that's
no,
how.
that's not what it's telling.
But that's how
What
you
I
relate
said
it,
was
because
I
you keep
never
saying
had to.
that.
I said if you have to.
No,
if you have
what I'm
to.
speaking on
And
when
what
you say
the
you
whole
don't
point
have to
of why we
disclose
went
it,
off
because you
on
keep
it
saying
is
I work
because-
hard even with my disability. So you're saying to me, it's like taking it as saying, okay, well, you got a disability. You only telling them you got a disability because you don't want to do this.
No,
You're
I'm
not saying it in
saying
that way, but that's how.
that is nowhere
But that's
near.
how it's coming off.
No,
and I'm
it's
pretty
not
sure
coming
they're
off that
they're
way.
listening.
It's
they
not
can say
coming
the same
off
thing.
that way.
It is
The
because
thing-
you keep
listen,
relaying. Hold on one
We
second.
have different disabilities.
But let me explain.
If I had
let me
disability,
explain why I said that.
if I have
Hold
a
on one second.
disability that I have to tell you about,
Go
then
ahead.
yes, I have to tell you about. I have. Can you see? I got carpal tunnel.
But
You can never
what
tell.
I'm saying, hold
You
on,
can't look
because you're
at
not
me
letting me get it
and
out.
see this.
Let me say
so
this.
I don't have
But what
to
I'm
tell
saying,
you.
when you relate your
But if there
disability,
was
you
something-
keep relating it to, oh, I have a disability and I still go and work hard. So that's coming off as saying,
No,
well,
but-
you only say you got a disability because
but
you don't
I
want to
am
do
saying-
this specific job. But I'm saying that's
well,
how
then
it's
let
making
me
it seem.
explain exactly what I'm saying, since you're taking it in a different way.
No, but I'm
What-
saying they might
no.
be taking it that way.
And they may not
So-
be taking it that way. What I am saying, the
Go
whole
ahead.
point of why we went off on that is because I said for other workers, you don't know what the next person is dealing with. You don't always have to come
Right,
at
and they
people.
don't have to care.
But
They don't have to care.
but also you were wrong. It wasn't me wrong, and it had nothing to. I
But
did nothing
that's a
wrong in the
different
whole
that's a different topic.
situation.
Like, that's a different thing.
So
When you're
at that point, because I know that can lead to that point, that's when I said, well, let me tell you.
But
first.
the way she came, to be honest, the way she came at you, we can't be mad the way she came because
yes, I can be
you
mad.
can't.
Yes, I can.
You can't
Because
she didn't
baby,
know.
that was her job. That wasn't none of my job.
Right, but I'm saying
that was
about
her job, and
not
she was
not
being
the first part.
nasty
I'm talking about
about
the whole number situation.
Yeah, that was her job. That was
But she
her
wasn't supposed
position.
to be in that position. She
That
supposed
was
to be,
her position to go find that. It wasn't my position.
But no,
And then
what I'm
she
saying
asked
is
me,
that.
And then she
But she didn't know
accused me
that,
of not doing something when I was doing what I was supposed to be doing.
But I'm saying even
So
the other stuff,
It
like
was her
the way
doing
that
something wrong.
I'm just saying in general. That might be in that particular situation may have been her just being rude.
And
but
even
I'm
the
not
point
using
with
your
hanging
situation. What
2
I'm
by
just
2,
saying is that if somebody
they
you can't be
instead of
upset by
asking
somebody
me,
saying you're doing something wrong when
but
they
then
don't know the
ask them.
situation.
Just ask them.
But you
don't
just
have
said
to go
you don't have to
running
disclose
behind.
it. You're
You
not
don't
going
have
to
to go.
disclose it.
But I would have disclosed to them if anybody had to come
It's
to me
not
and ask
it's
me.
not a worker's
If they had to
business,
ask
though.
me, all they did was go talking junk and go and telling the manager.
Right.
And then that's when the manager asked me. But you could have clearly asked me yourself.
A manager is
hey,
not going
Keto,
to come
why
and approach
did you
if
hang
it
with
was
your
doing
left?
the right. If it was not something doing wrong, a man like if you making
But
an offer
listen,
right,
if I was doing wrong, they would have told me I couldn't do it no more.
But you did. You disclosed your disability.
No.
So this is how you can do it. So they're not going to tell you can't do it because then that's discrimination. They can't tell you can't do it that way.
And said, but they said you can do it that way. Just because you
Right.
chose not to.
But
do it
what
that
I'm
way.
saying, but then they would have
You
never.
just
They
chose
thought
not to do it
clearly
that way.
they thought the manager thought something was being wrong because they approached it.
No, when
they're
someone
not
comes
going to
to
approach
somebody,
it.
they have to address it. When
No, they do not.
When you
If
go
you're
to
not,
a manager,
if you're not doing nothing wrong, why would they go approach something that you're doing right? That doesn't make sense.
Address something because it's
No,
going to keep going back and forth.
They do not. They would address it with that person and say, "Hey, she's doing that right."
But listen, I have a lot of work experience too. So
but I'm not doubting. But you keep taking it as an attack that somebody's saying about your work experience. No, so you're not working hard. But I'm giving you
attacking people for disclosing
I didn't say you was
No, you're saying
nobody.
that I'm downing people.
I didn't say that either.
It look like what word you want me to use?
Because I said
what
I said. Hold on one second. What I said
saying that
was
when
you're making
disclose it. When you disclose it,
go ahead.
That's to get out of doing something, and I ain't saying nothing like that. That you're
but
just
you
disclosing
did say that.
It. No, I
you
did
said
not say
I'm not
that.
going to disclose. Yes, you did. If you watch this live back, you hear yourself saying
did not say that.
You didn't say it like that. What you said.
I am not saying.
Hold
that.
on. One second.
You're saying that
what you said was that I would never
in.
disclose something to get out of a job. Listen to this live back, and you would hear you saying that. You did say that,
Mike.
No, I'm not gonna go back and forth, but just listen to it. That's why I said just listen to the live back, and you would hear that. You did say that. You said that early on.
I don't. If I have to disclose something, then I will. If I don't have to,
but that's all I was saying.
No
I said disclose what you have with your
this and this.
No, you didn't. You're not listening to what I'm saying.
And it's I don't think you understand that you're not listening to me. Either.
No,
so
but I am listening. But
you're Peter, not understanding.
You're saying the same thing that I said in a different way.
But
you're saying the same thing.
Understanding me at all because you're saying I'm saying something negative to everybody, which I'm not saying anything negative.
What I'm saying, it's coming off every time you relate telling about a disability. You go into saying, "Oh, I work hard with my disability." So that is coming off to people saying, "Okay." But that's what you're saying. But no, you said it
for me.
But you're not letting me talk. I can't explain it if you're not letting me talk.
And you're not letting me get much either.
I'm getting Keita. Listen to this. I'm getting quiet every time you go to talk. I get quiet, and I said, "Okay, just let you talk."
All right.
What I'm saying is that every time you relate telling them about a disability, you go into saying, "I work hard with my disability. I still work with my disability." So it's coming off as saying, okay, well, what are you saying to the people who disclose their disability that they're not going to work hard? They're not going to do the job. You only saying this.
None of that
Jay,
makes sense together.
I'm going to ask him this.
None of that makes
Jay,
sense together.
Hold on one second. Come here.
None of that makes sense.
I'm gonna ask somebody. I'm gonna ask somebody else. Jay.
There have been times
Jay,
I went in and had to disclose.
Come here.
But I don't. If I don't have to disclose, I don't have to disclose.
Okay, how would you feel if I say this way? If I say, well, I don't have to disclose my disability because I work hard with my disability.
I didn't say that together.
Hold on.
That,
yes, you did.
I didn't say it together like that.
Okay, what did you say?
You're putting them together.
What did you say?
I said for me. I said that I don't have to come in and tell you that X, Y, Z is
because
wrong
I still do my job and I work hard.
I still come in and do what is necessary.
Okay.
I don't have to tell you.
Now,
for me,
for you, how would you feel
to come and tell you
if I say? But that's the same thing that I'm saying.
You're saying that you do, even if you have X, Y, Z, you need to come in.
Would you
and
feel?
Say,
hold
hey,
on.
I have
Would you
X,
feel this
Y,
way?
and Z.
If
and at that point, I have been discriminated against
hold
for
on
having
one second.
X, Y, and
one
Z.
second. If you feel,
but
like
I never
if
said
I say,
you don't
okay,
have to.
If I'm
Each
talking,
person is their own.
But hold on one
you
second.
might have
one
to
second.
do that. I might not.
If I say, if both of us speaking on our disabilities, and I say, well, would you feel a certain type of way if I say, well, I don't have to tell my disability because I'm gonna go in and I'm still gonna work hard at what I do and still get it done, and I don't have to disclose my disability. Would you feel a way
if together?
But that's how you.
I didn't put
but
that together
that's
like
a
that.
short text.
I didn't put it together like that. They're two different instances.
No, but what I'm saying, that's how you were relaying it. You relayed like that multiple times.
Would
you feel a way
if
I say, okay, even if I say, well, I have a disability, but I'm not going to disclose it because I still do the job and I work hard. And me saying, well, I'm going to disclose my disability because I'm not going to work. I'm not going to do something that's going to make it worse. Would you feel a way saying that it'll make you feel like, well, what are you saying to the people who do have a disability that disclose it? Are you? It's almost coming out saying, well, I got a disability and I work. So why are you going discussing that? You know what I'm saying?
I'm not saying that. I never said that.
But that's how you relating it. That's what I keep saying. You didn't say it like that. But
no, you're saying no matter if you have to or not, go in and tell them.
Not listen to the replay. Listen to the replay. I said only disclose, but it's pertaining to the job.
Okay.
And you're saying the same thing, but we're saying the same thing.
But what I'm saying is I don't have to come in and tell them. Okay.
But then you can't get mad when they bring you in the office and correct you.
When you bring me in the office for BS, yes,
but then
you try to.
But then it's using it as an excuse. That say I'm disabled. Then that's an excuse.
I did nothing wrong. You're saying I did something.
I didn't say you did nothing wrong, but what I'm saying
they never would address me if I did something.
But that's correct. A manager would not address you if you're doing the job right, regardless. A manager will look like a dumbass to come to you and say, well, hey, you're doing this absolutely right. No. So why am I talking to you?
Because people are coming and
it doesn't matter. You would tell them people, hey, she's doing it right. So let's leave it. That's a manager would say that she's doing it right.
No, if
you guys shouldn't be going back gossiping. Number one,
if I was doing it wrong, right, they would have stopped me from doing it wrong.
No, because you told them about your disability, and that is accommodation.
And I wasn't doing it wrong.
But let me ask you this:
I was not
if
doing
you would have never told them that, they would have said, "Okay, you need to do it the way that it needs to be done."
Wrong at all. Because I'm doing it the way you said it could be done from the beginning.
Right, but they would have never, but they would have never approached it. Is what I'm saying. That's stupid to
possibly
approach
on
it.
The jobs that you have. Maybe they would or wouldn't. Every job is different. Every job ain't the same. You're saying like every job is the same.
No, I did.
Every manager.
I said every job is different.
But what I'm saying. You just said the manager,
but
you don't know
taking,
that manager.
You're taking the instances that you put in, but I'm saying the different things that you've told me over the years that has played a part with your disability, and you have made it worse by not discussing it with them and telling them. I've been telling you a long time. I said, Kitty, you have to talk to them and let them know they can't help you if they do not know. Okay, and it got to a point where it got bad.
Listen, though. Listen. And what did I just do? I didn't have to tell them shit squat.
But you went to HR and told HR. Listen. So, what I'm saying is you making it seem like you never had to discuss that.
1 second. I have done things in the past, and I have done things different. The way I address the situation today is not the way I would have addressed it in the past. In the past, I would have just kept on, bitch, you feel how you feel, and you never still would have knew shit. And I still go home, I feel my pain, I do whatever, I come in, I be the star player or whatever, and you still wouldn't have knew nothing. For me not to repeat my cycles of going through the same thing, playing the same game on a different team, I said, no, we're going to address this differently. We're going to stop this right now because I already know where this can go. It's already went there before. But there are many jobs, because I don't know 100% until I get on the job, if I can do it. If I come in saying, hey, I can't do that, can't do that, can't do that, and can't do that. Now, what can you do?
They're going to find you something you can do.
Ma'am,
they're going to find you something.
But unfortunately,
no, they cannot tell you
that. You don't know what I've been through.
But they cannot tell you that.
Things that I cannot do.
But they cannot. That is discrimination. That is a lawsuit. A job is not going to tell you that. You're going off because you think in your mind, you think that is what they're going to tell you. You're thinking negative about the disability. You think that your disability is going to stop you from doing this and doing that. It's going to hinder you. Then that means you're trapped in your own mind of thinking that, because that's not true.
What has stopped me? I know my ability.
But you never went, hold on. You can't say you know what stopped you in the job if you never disclosed that with them. So you can't say that.
I know what I can do and I know what I can't do.
Correct.
That's just like when
you can't say a job is not going to give you an opportunity by saying you're disabled.
Can we listen for 1 second?
But you're not even let me get nothing out. You keep asking me to listen. I get quiet, but you don't let me get something out.
But you're kind of actually in the same mode. You're not listening better than I'm listening.
But let me say this at this point. Let me say this.
I was trying to get to something, but go ahead and then I'll get to it.
What I'm finna say is you can't think, you in your mind, and it almost feels like that you don't be confident in your own self with your disability. You're confident in working through your disability, but you're not comfortable with your disability, because it shouldn't be a comfortability whether you're going to tell that manager or not, because you can't say, well, I can't do this. You don't know what that job is going to put you at to say, I can't do this and that. Okay, well then, if you can't do X, Y, Z, let's find something where we can't put you. You can't say a company is not going to work with you if you don't discuss that with them. So you're thinking negative about how the disability is going to affect your job, because you keep saying, if I go in and tell them this, and that, they're not going to give me the job. And that's not true, because I've interviewed with a disability and I've always gotten the job. I've interviewed and I've told them.
For you.
But you're right. Now, but I'm just saying, hold on 1 second. But the way that you're thinking about the situation is almost like if you don't trust yourself, like, okay, if I tell them this, I'm not gonna do it. And that's what I said. You don't go in and disclose what you can't do. You go in and disclose what you can do, because you already taken what you can't do out of their mind.
And that's exactly what I said.
I said that from the beginning.
I can do that. You telling me to go in and tell them my disability.
I didn't.
I don't have to.
I said you tell them what pertains to the position.
If it is a position that if it's something that I know, baby, you're going to have to be able to do this. It would be in my best interest to tell them, hey, baby, I can't do that. I really just cannot do that. But this is where I'm like, with my mother. My mother always tried to get me a job at AT&T. Okay, the job that she has that was at AT&T required a lot of typing. A lot of typing. That's all you do all day. Okay, now I have went for a job where all I ever typed was an address. And I know that on that job where all I typed was addresses, I was still like this. My hands were still swollen and hurting. So when she says, "Hey Keita, there's this job in blah blah blah, and you should apply," I said, "Mom, I can't do that because I already know the number one thing required in that is typing. I know I can't type. I do know that much. I know that.
Can you
It
drive?
wouldn't be in my interest to go apply for that job because I know that is something that bothers. Now, I wouldn't go into that job saying, "Hey, I have carpal tunnel, but it bothers me, but can you still let me do this job that requires," I could go in there, but the first thing they're going to say is, "But ma'am, this is one of the core positions of that job. You have to be able to type because that's how we do
So
these
your
things."
disability
So for
pertains
me,
to the job.
but I don't even apply for that job.
But
I don't even go to the interview.
some jobs,
I didn't go.
you may go and apply for a cashier, and they say we need an unloader.
I already know that cashiering, baby.
No, I'm just
I know
speaking
that.
in general. Like,
So I'm
so
not
you say it's jobs you can't do.
pertaining.
You drive
I'm not
24/7, so why
pertaining
not get a driving
to
job?
that job. I'm not going to that job. I'm not applying for that. The jobs that I apply for are things that I already think, hey, I see that they're doing this, this, and this. So I probably can do that. So
But
let me get in
realistically,
there.
we know just
and
because you apply for that position,
try it.
they're gonna put you. They may put you somewhere where
No, when they
it
tried to
falls
put me,
into
they
your
tried
lap.
to put me somewhere. They tried to put me as a cook, right? I already know in my
No,
mind.
I'm saying
Listen,
if you go to a Walmart
listen.
and you are a cashier, they can say, okay, today you're gonna work shoes. Today you're gonna work
already
groceries. Today
know.
you're gonna do this.
And I did that. And we didn't really have a problem. But they asked me about cooking. Keita analyzed. Oh no, cooking's a lot of with the knife. Oh, my hand flares up. I better not take no cooking job. Oh no, ma'am, I probably shouldn't go for the cooking. Do you have anything else? Oh, okay, so we have this position. Keita analyzed. I don't have to sit up and tell you, hey, hands can't hardly move. You got something
Right,
that I can do with my hands
speaking
can't hardly
on
move?
something that's different.
That's what
When
I'm
you're
saying.
going and you're speaking on job that you
I'm already
been
taking jobs
with this
that I
company.
think that I
But
can
if
be
you
able
go
to
to
take.
a new job,
I would never apply at a restaurant.
but
I would never
but
go
it's
apply
something in
for
a
a
restaurant
cook.
that you might can do. You know
But
what
I
mean?
would never go in there and apply because I see the things that people do in the restaurant.
But you
and I already
assuming-
know,
but
baby,
you
I know my
assume
body.
that your
I
body
know
can't
what
do it.
I know
And
what
just
I have
just that,
been
that might be
dealing with
something you
this.
can do.
I have been dealing with this for a long. It's not a year, not 2 years, not 3 years, not 4 years, not 5 years, not 6 years, not 10 years, not 15
But okay,
years.
so
I
what
have
about
dealt with
you
a
doing a
lot.
driving job? You drive 6 or 7 hours all the time, a day.
And also,
What about that?
I know the problem that I have sometimes with these contacts. I wear contacts that I just mentioned that I can't always see. So on the days that we can't wear our contacts, what do I do for my job?
Why you can't wear your contacts?
They're hard contacts and they
Oh,
give
okay.
me headaches. They're
But
not even supposed
but you
to be
also
worn.
can get glasses.
No, I can't.
I thought you said they got to give
I
you them big,
cannot
thick
wear,
bifocal
and
glasses.
I can't see through. I barely see anything. It's like I'm looking through water. Glasses cannot fix my vision.
Well, all I'm saying,
So
y'all,
I have
we both
sight
have
for
two
a
different.
moment.
Like I said, the reason why this whole conversation started because I think of more business wise because I've been in that element and I know
not gonna
how the
put
company
myself
works.
in certain positions without.
We just gonna agree on the end because this live been way too long.
I know I
So
can't do
we
that.
just
We're
gonna
not gonna
agree
do
to
that.
disagree. But it's up to you. If I'm just giving y'all tips on how you should approach it. Approach it the way you want to approach it, but you will save yourself a lot of headache just by being upfront. A lot of jobs, and if that job don't work,
And
with you, then
I'm
it's
not
for
telling you're saying
But
that
no,
I'm telling
hold on,
them
I'm
not
finna get
to.
to
I'm
your-
not
I'm
telling
finna
them
get
not
to your
Be
point.
upfront if you
But
need to.
I'm saying I'm an upfront person. and it's gonna stop a lot of all of that extraness going on. So my side is, I feel like you guys should be upfront with a job. Just let them know, and that job don't want to work with you, then let them kiss your ass, because then you too good for that job any fucking way. But you can also go the other route and not disclose it, and that's personally up to you. You don't have to disclose every situation, every disability,
But also,
everything to
when
your
you
boss.
don't disclose it, make sure in your mind you don't think it's going to be a problem. It's something that you probably like say, okay, maybe I don't have,
booty hurting.
the movement of my pinky, but that may not affect
Ooh,
this job
11
ever.
o'clock, y'all.
It may not ever affect this job. Why I wouldn't go tell you, hey, my pinky barely moves or this and that. Only disclose what you have to. And I only go personally for jobs that I know each person knows their own abilities. You know what you can do, you know what you can't do. For me, I know working.
What I said in the
I know
beginning, 'cause you
working.
said everything I said.
But then you flip what I say and say something negative.
No, I said, you know your limitations. You know what you can do. Always go in
But
a
I
job
don't.
and
I
tell
don't
them what
go
you can
after
do.
jobs that I don't feel like.
But well,
doing.
let me piggyback
That's
off that
the
real
difference.
quick. Just because you may see a position and think you can do it, it might be something that you possibly cannot do. So always, that's why I say sometimes you have to disclose as much as you can, but you don't have to give them, like, I'm not to everybody. I'm not trying to be funny, but if you got, just say, like, a sickness, we just gonna say a sickness that is not like a disability almost, you don't have to disclose your personal information. But when it comes to jobs, especially if you own a restaurant or something where you can potentially get hurt, you want to tell them what's going on. You want to disclose, like, if I'm going to a job where I'm gonna be doing something driving, bitch, I'm blind, so you can't put me behind the
But
fucking
that's
wheel.
the same thing.
But
You
that's
don't
what I
even
was-
apply for those. I wouldn't even go.
No,
apply
because
for those.
just
but
like
you're saying go in there, they might have a way
sister-
that you can go apply for it.
Your sister just applied and procrastinate and got hired, and she didn't apply for a driving job. She applied for another position, but guess what? It's a possibility that she may be driving. So just because
but she can decline it.
correct,
And say, hey, I can't do that driving
right.
job. That's when it comes
but
up.
they're gonna
That's
ask
when I
you,
have to
is
tell
it
you.
something that's
That's when
going on?
I have to tell you. At that point, that's when, hey,
But
I
instead
can't
of even
really,
getting it to that point, I would say
it's just
you know,
two different approaches.
I
Your
would take it
approach
out
is
of the
direct.
out of the conversation.
Your
altogether.
approach is right, direct, shoot straight forward. Hey, baby, this is on the table. My position is we put it on the table if it needs to be on the table. Right now, nothing's on the table. Oh, okay. This, and this. We good.
But some jobs you don't.
The
when
job
you applying,
can turn out fabulous.
you don't
and I
know.
never had to
Like, okay,
disclose
let me say
nothing.
this.
I'm
like
not,
cashier jobs. Some cashier jobs you apply for. This cashier job, like,
I don't apply for cashier jobs.
No, I'm speaking in general.
Because I already
Like
know.
when we worked at what was that job? What we
And it's nothing against cashier jobs. I've been a cashier.
We're gonna give
since everything
this
is
job,
taken negatively.
We're gonna
It's
give
not
this job okay, just okay. So when we both worked at okay, the location we were at is a big company, a big corporation. So it's a million jobs out there. So let's say the location we worked at was okay. So at okay, all we had to do was, as the cashier, was stand there and ring up, just stand and ring up food. We didn't have to touch food. We didn't have to do nothing. But when I rescued at another job, we're just gonna call cars. When I rescued at cars, we had to sit down, and once the food was ready, we had to go get the food, run it out to the person, and come back to that register. So it's different duties as a cashier. So just because you apply for a cashier, you might be. I also applied for cashier in companies where I was just the person that put stuff in the bag, but that's a cashier position. So it's different levels to being a cashier. I'm just using cashier as an example.
But
Like,
it's
different
also
levels
that
to
same job. You was like, oh, you should be able to do this. All you have to do, can't you walk a bitch to the table? Yeah, I can walk a bitch to the table. Didn't even I went into it thinking this is something, hey, I could do, I could walk a bitch to the table. And I had issues there. So it's
But
like,
you had issues, but had you, they could have provided you with a wheelchair.
and then I
You
was,
could have been rolling them to the
for
table.
me,
Oh,
I
and
know,
that's nothing
for
against people
me,
with
I
wheelchairs.
know that I have a lot going on. There's a lot in my situation, and I'm not, and because I say I have a lot going on, please nobody take it that I'm saying that you don't have just as
Is
much
there
or
any
more.
comments or
Because
views or
that is
anything?
not what I'm saying. Because anytime you give your own opinion, somebody gets offended by your opinion. So it's none of this is made to make anybody feel any type
I'm
of
gonna have to sit on
way.
this thing because now that's messing with the nerves
But
in my
for
legs.
me, I have a lot going on. That's why I knew for me, my career
They can still
in,
see me.
yeah, my career in the regular workforce, I can see is wrapping its way up because it's, as I get older, it's more challenging and challenging and challenging. I seen that. I hung in as long as I could, and I'm still
Oh, I
hanging
was supposed
on.
to eat before 8 o'clock, y'all. I missed
And
that.
for me, I when I work, I'm gonna hurt. I'm gonna have pain. We work through our pain. I go to therapy. I do this or do that, but I'm gonna have pain. So either I'm gonna have pain following my dream, painting, drawing, graphic design, or I'm gonna have pain on somebody else's job. So I'm trying to leverage my way out of that, more of using my body that pains me. And I'm trying to get more to using, because I've been a hard laborer. I've always had manual labor jobs. I've never really had the business setting, the more on your mind type jobs, because there are intellectual jobs and that you don't do much with your body. I'm trying to get myself more into that. That's why I'm so much trying to leverage this YouTube and graphic design and my storytelling and my songwriting. Songwriting, of course, is not going to flare up corporal tunnel and stuff like that. So I know at some point in time that manual labor workforce for me is going to end. And I see it nearing close. That's why I'm preparing myself to move into another area because no matter what situation you have, you just have to, I don't know, ain't nobody to take care of me if I completely quit. So pain or no pain, I gotta work. I gotta work somewhere. So we trying to build our own thing, outside, so I don't have to go through all this different pain and stuff like that. But that's just the reality that we live in. You have to work to live.
We got any comments? So I can thank everybody.
No, but no. But yeah, it's, I don't know.
All right, y'all. My booty hurting, so and my throat dry. I need something to drink, y'all. She didn't talk me to deal.
No, because everything
But-
is not, because I say something for me, it's always offensive. And I'm not here to
I
try
didn't
to
say it
offend.
was offensive. I was just saying that just that comment. It kind of rubbed you the wrong way when it's like, because you was like, well, I grew up in the house of workers and my mom was a hard worker. I'm a hard worker, even with a disability.
No
So
matter
it just
what,
kind of
but
came up. But
it's
I don't
not
want to restart
saying-
that conversation.
it's not saying that, I don't know. It's no way to relay it. That is, it's
Y'all,
just saying.
we always have debate. And
I know
and
you should understand what
hold on.
I'm
Let me say
saying.
this. Keep in mind, y'all,
Because-
we're not. Hold on. We're not fighting. We're not arguing, y'all. We always just talk like this. So I don't want anybody to be like we arguing.
And I'm
fighting
always
and
the
stuff
bad
like that.
guy and
So,
negative person.
ain't nobody say you was the bad guy,
But what
child.
I'm saying,
but
even now, just like you said the same exact thing, you've been working since you was 16,
15.
right? And you're now you're disabled. You weren't always disabled.
Right.
Okay, because you say, and you said the same type of comment, because you said the same exact thing. You go through dialysis and this and this and that, and you still go in and work hard. That is no different than what I said.
No, the way I related.
And nobody
I said
would
we were
this and that. It's
hold
the
on,
same
but we were
situation.
talking about
It's
when
the
you
same
said
thing.
people are working in you're going above and beyond and working harder than the people because they're just standing around. And I said, yeah, people would say that because you're comparing it to a lazy person. And I said, when I go to dialysis, I will go into work and be tired, and they would be like, "Oh, you're great because you said you don't bring the home problems." I said, "Yeah, I would go." They don't know that I'm in dialysis, and I would go in and I would still smile and do my job, but being extremely tired. But I'm comparing myself to everybody praising and saying, "Well, you're doing a wonderful job. You're doing a great job." I'm not really doing a great job. I'm just working against people who's lazy. That's what I was saying.
No, but that is doing a great job. I know that I am.
But I'm just saying, if I was working with a regular person or not, and I don't mean regular like disabled, but a regular person who comes and do the job, they'll be like, "Oh, y'all work the same. You doing the same thing that they're doing." Only reason why it makes me go above and beyond and people think I'm fascinating is because I'm disabled and I'm doing a job that everybody else is too lazy to do. So
but
that's
I wasn't
the only
disabled
difference.
My whole life, and I know I always worked above and beyond.
Right,
and
but I wasn't saying that.
Stop.
But when you related your disability to working, you was making it seem like you worked hard. You worked harder than people being disabled. So you don't have to disclose that because you're still going in and doing a job.
I didn't say better than people disabled. I said I work better than the people that ain't disabled.
I meant to say not disabled.
Yeah,
but
what I was
relating to,
I'm coming
it was kind of like you were saying, well, I don't have to disclose it because I come in and I still do that job and I do it better than everybody else. So that's what I was relating to. That's why I said, well, it was kind of like. Are you saying that we should not say our disability because we're lazy? So
no, that's something you put together.
But that's how you. What I'm saying is that's how it was related.
That no matter what is going on with me, no matter what situation I'm in, if I go to your job with or without disability, I'm going to work my hardest.
But you didn't say it with or without at first. This is where I'm relating. When everybody's gonna look at it different. No matter how we relate it, everybody's gonna take it different. But if you're telling me your work, I don't have to disclose it because I still do the job. That's how you were saying it. I still do the job and I still work hard. So at that point, it's like, are you saying that?
Because me still doing the job means I'm still completing the job task.
But
if I couldn't complete the job
comparing yourself to the world.
If I can't complete the job task,
the job you can be disabled or not, and the job can still get done. You can work just as hard. But when you're
completing the task, if I'm completing this task, and the disability or non-disability is not getting in the way and it's still getting done, I don't have to tell you. That is what I'm saying.
But that would take it to the person who do have to tell them, like, okay, well, should I not tell them?
I've never said that. No, that's
you never
thinking
said it.
More and digging
more.
No,
but you never said it. But that's how it was related. If you have somebody to watch this and watch that part,
that's how you
just ask them. Clip this particular part out and post it and see what people say and see where we get at, because we're gonna not agree on the situation, but
everybody gonna think you was right.
No, but I'm saying you clip it out and just say, hey, we're trying to squash a debate. What do you guys take out of this clip? Because everybody's gonna think
everything you say in life is gonna be taken offensively. I felt like when you said something about amputee, I felt that was offensive, but you didn't feel that was offensive. So we're always going to think something is people. This is the world of offense. Everybody's offended about everything. I can say the sky is blue.
I wasn't offended, but I was just saying for people out there.
No, but everybody's going to be offended, no matter what. Anything you say is offensive.
But
if you're for this, you're offended.
The way the amputee comment was stated,
that to me, but it wasn't the same content.
Because I said I was using it as an example and saying that you said like you held the door for that. That's something when you say no, because if you go above and beyond, I did hold the door for an amputee. I did do that. So it wasn't something that I was saying negative. I did do
that it wasn't offensive. Just like that's my opinion that wasn't offensive, and it was never meant.
Right, I get what you're saying.
We're basically saying the same thing. But what I'm telling you, in this world, no matter what you put on YouTube, somebody's going to be offended.
Well,
So
honey.
whether or whether or not you offended,
Oh,
I
my lips
offended,
dry.
we all offended. That's just how
I'm
it is.
not
I'm
offended.
just telling
Like,
you.
I wasn't offended by it. I was just saying,
I'm just
like,
telling
just a
you
comment, but I
how
wasn't
I
offended.
get through things. Please don't follow me unless, and I tell my daughter that do not emulate anybody unless you want to be where they're at. You pick somebody that, hey, that's where I want to be. If you want to be where Cadillac at, then listen to Cadillac. Do what Cadillac do. If you don't want my life, you don't want to be where I'm at, then don't listen to me. And that's how you have to take everybody's advice with a grain of salt. Advice is just advice. People's stories are just people's stories. I'm not telling you to do it. Not telling you not to do it. I'm telling you what I go through and how I handle my problems. I never told you to handle your problems like I handle mine. All right.
Oh. All right, y'all. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. I wanted to get into another topic, but this topic kind of took over the night, and it's like 12. Is it 12? It's 11.
I don't know.
I'm sleepy. Well, I ain't sleepy,
Willie
but
D, I sure would have liked to do a better job. But
you done?
you know it is what it is.
Because you showed to talk, y'all. You would think that with all the disability, she can multitask, right, child? That's that's probably a disability. The ability not to multitask, that could be a problem. Like seriously, you might want to get that checked out. But that probably was offensive.
I just ended it.
Oh, somebody.